everyone. Once again, this is Ooredoo Nations Maldives Championship Contender Series Season 4, Mike. Season 4. Once again, we are back. My name is Annie, and tonight with me casting will be Mike. Mike, what's up?
Well, of course, thank you so much for that.
So, that's a bit of pressure. Still, you do have 12 chances, but still, kind of nervous for these teams because this is still the group stage. This is more or less their qualifiers, so they gotta prove themselves better than these 17 other teams other than themselves. And so they gotta do their best in these 2 days before they can even think about the finals. Because right now, that's what matters. It's just proving yourself that you're good enough to even step into the finals of this season 4. And then, of course, after you touch that hurdle, of course, you do the finals, you compete there, and then after that, you go ahead and uh, probably go to the LAN event with such a great prize pool, 100K. Mike, what would you do with like 100K
I can't really imagine with that
in
big
that
amount of
amount of
money.
money, right? I
Yes,
know,
yes,
right?
exactly.
I
I
know,
mean,
right?
if you do look at these teams, I think they've also planned for that, maybe to grow and to really train more. I think they're really preparing for that. But again, once again, 100,000. That's just I don't know. I got no words for that.
Yeah, I know, right? But the teams, they probably know what to do with that kind of money.
Hmm.
And then again, once I actually said it before, they have to worry about the group stages first. And so that's what they're gonna do right now. They gotta just play it safe. It seems that that's what's happening right now. Surprisingly, once again, this is Sunhawk. You'd expect that there would maybe be some early game engagements, and yes, we saw that first blood happening. But after that, it's been 6 minutes and not much is happening until now. TTS Cloud, that's Monk from Trilia, and Lucas down as well. So it's a one for one trade so far. TTS Cloud loses
Smoky.
their life, and it seems that TTS, however, gets 2 eliminations in the bag, and so one for one trade. Not looking good for Trilia. They've already lost 2 people, but then again, they also have 2 kills in their name.
And Trillia, actually, they were being careful a while ago, especially that they got the first blood. I think they were already marked already in the map. But again, once again, one member here from Trillia down. It's just gonna be up to Cap to maybe revive his teammate, or maybe just try to fight back and hope for the best. But looks like right now TTS Esports are just really going for the charge right here, just trying their best to eliminate them once and for all. But while that was happening, Goat, on the other hand, will join, that being the third party, to try to take him down, and takes on one member from TTS Esports, and he's actually in a very, very low health, and will just end him right then and there. And now the TTS Esports have already, they were already distracted by the Goat's presence right here. I think Goat was trying to help um Trilia's situation right now. I mean, at least he gets one member to revive. I mean, that's a team that got you killed, you know? I mean, you could have waited for Trilia to be gone before you went in for the charge. But I do understand that Goat was also trying to garner points from here, and, at least try to fight back if ever the opportunities come.
Yeah, I mean, Goat Esports was there first. It's TTS that was technically the third party, but still, it is what it is. Goat Esports, they want that kill, and so they have to try. They have to risk it. But this time, TTS, they know that they gotta pack up and leave because it's not looking good for them. There are only 2 people left in their team, and so their survival isn't looking that great. But we can say the same for Trilia as well. They've basically been sandwiched between 2 teams, and 2 teams are just trying to eliminate them. And so far, they got away with 2 members in their team, but still Gold, they only have 2 members as well. And we see that UK versus Trilia, TTS rather,
Oh,
and
another one
Smokey goes
down.
down and gets eliminated completely by the hands of UK, and that is the end for TTS. Actually, they get wiped out. They accidentally ran into UK, and that would be the end for them for this map.
It was kind of disadvantageous for TTS Esports. I mean, they were trying to take down Trillia, but Goat was there to intervene, and finally, they were just really ended by UK right there. I mean, they do have a chance later on, but it's gonna be a bad start for TTS Esports, and I wonder how they're gonna try to fight back later on and maybe plan for the best, especially that we're gonna be seeing them in Erangel and Miramar. But for now, seems like 9 minutes in, and I think we're getting a lot of action already, or at least the teams are already preparing for it, especially that they do have some sort of information. So at this point, they're just really trying to look for openings and maybe engage in in a gunfight, and maybe try to take as many people down as possible before they can get some points and maybe aim for placement kills.
Yeah, definitely. That's the plan. That's the plan. You gotta get those placement points, and you also got to get those kills. And speaking of kills, Leon's United, they are nearby UK, and so I'm excited. I'm excited. They gotta have heard that gunshot. Leon's United, they gotta have heard that gunshot, and so they have information that UK is probably in there, and there are some potential kills to be had. But for now, it seems that UK will be rotating out of there, making a lot of ruckus in that car. But so far, in the kill feed, it seems that Neon and EST they also have their own story to tell, and it seems that there's some people down on the side of EST. We can see that because there are only two players left standing on the side of EST, and so whatever is happening there, that's quite exciting. But for now, EST they're not looking good right now.
And with Neon, I mean, they do have already 2 points right here, so they can maybe go for the charge here. But I think their enemies were also kind of aware, so at least they're protecting themselves right now. So it puts Neon at a little bit of a disadvantage since their location has been revealed, but they do have the numbers advantage, which is good. But if you do, take a look at the map right now. The position here for Estalia, I mean, kind of good. They're kind of at the rim of the circle, though they're at an open area, being engaged with vehicles. It's gonna be hard for them. Seems like they will just run away and go for some cover without knowing that there's gonna be another team inside. They go straight for the push. UK, one member goes down, Phoenix goes down, and the rest of the UK are trying to look for an opening, but it seems like they have failed as now Neon has already used that to their advantage and just eliminates UK right off the map for game number one.
Yeah, well, goodbye for now. Now we're down to 14 teams in this map. Trillia gone for now. That would be Trillia, UK, and TTS so far. And I can actually see it. I just noticed that Grave, one of these teams, are missing. So it's not looking good for them. They need every single map. They gotta rake points for every single map. And so far, for those three teams that got eliminated off, it's a good thing that they walk away with two eliminations each. And so they got something out of this map. Still, they don't get the placement points. They don't get a lot of points. Still, that's something. Maybe they would fare better in the Sunhawks rather, in the Erangels and the Miramar maps. And of course, Sunhawk, maybe they just got a little bit unlucky, tripped into some bad luck, ran into some early game engagements, or got sandwiched in between two teams. So that's basically my now they see a Lursha. They spot a potential engagement, and they are engaging. They are initiating a fight. But so far, something else happening in the kill feed. Maybe two or three different engagements in two different parts of the map. JNS Poison a little bit in trouble. Their whole team rather getting eaten up by that circle, and they gotta move because this is a stage 4 circle. EST Sage getting those bullets in, but will those connect? It seems that almost eliminating a whole team. And so will they get on Sersha? Will they get these kills? That those bullets are connecting, and AU over here actually rakes up 3 kills all by himself. Sage needing that revive, but I'm not sure if AU can get that revive. It seems that won't be the case, and so EST for now they walk away with 3 eliminations before being completely eliminated.
And with Neon right now on the move as they try to navigate, especially that they're gonna encounter with one enemy, then at least they have to go to reposition and maybe try to fight back. While I think they weren't aware of that and they're just being very careful at this point. However, I mean they do have that one team looming against them, and with of course NRS NRS get an off-screen kill right there, and really just waiting for the rest of the team to go through to rotate really and to run away. But it seems like NRS one member goes down, and the other members, I think, they're also very aware at this point, and they're being very careful, especially that the blue zone is getting a lot of is starting to hurt, and especially with one member from Shersha right here, very low on health. They're just gonna use a bit of a danger zone right here, just to at least wait for the team from NRS to disappear, and is being very careful. Though the danger zone is really starting to hurt, it's just gonna be disadvantageous for him. If he gets inside the play zone, he might get spotted and just gets erased completely. Luckily, he was able to see them right in his third TPS, but while that was happening, while he goes down, and that's gonna be an end right there. I mean, that's gonna be an end for United, and now Shersha as well. And it seems like 15 minutes into the game, and we have already seen 10 teams, the remaining 10 teams that are gonna fight this off. And really, at this point, we're gonna see a lot of action, especially one member from Neon goes down, and here from Ben returns, going into the spray right there, tries to gun them down inside the vehicle. And now, while that was happening, LHC has her own story to tell as well. But wow, back into the action from Fen returns. They were being invaded, but they managed to keep it alive, just take them down, and just really use the house for cover before they even try to plan on where to rotate once again. And that's gonna be an end for JNS.
And it looks like, speaking of NRS, might be seeing their end as well, with Metus being the last person getting eliminated from their team. And so, goodbye for NRS for now, but still taking a look at those list of teams. So many teams on the red, OTL and 2MS. They only have one player left standing before their team completely gets eliminated. And speaking of Leo as well, that might be the case as well, but it looks like they only have two players left standing as well. But look at here, 2MS in a bit of trouble. Reem is behind this tree. It's not a good look for them, although yes, this is the high ground. Still, they could get picked off so easily, especially if there is someone watching from afar that has a really good shot at them. And look at this. The circle is eating them up, and now they're out in the open. Reem, however, is getting eaten up by that circle, and still, if nobody gets a bullet on him, at least, they don't get the elimination points on his side. But for now, it seems for that team, it'll be at the end of it. And now we are down to the top four for this map. LHC trying to get some bullets in, but they won't find an elimination just yet.
And with that, once again, we're down to the four teams. It's gonna be once again Fenner turns, OTL, and the DOS right here, and lastly LHC. And now that on site going in for a couple of sprays, and now with that's gonna mark an end to OTL. And now we're down to the last three teams once again. Though DOS that on site right here, they do have a little bit of they have a small chance to win this, especially that they got a one member remaining and the others are down. Just needs a revive right here. But from the side of LHC, while he was trying to heal, he got hit. He got spotted. So at least, I mean, they have the disadvantage. They are already spotted in that rock, and seems like Fen returns are just really circling them before they can go in for the attack. While LHC right here will try to take down from the dead on side, but while it was happening, Fen returns just takes him down, and once again, it looks like right here, DOS, one member remaining, one member down, and it's just gonna be up to Fen returns to finish them all together, especially both of these teams are one member remaining, and they're just really going in for the charge right now, and also using their throwables as well to secure the kill even more, and really just for that, another kill right there from Fen returns and a grenade kill, and that's gonna be a mark for the chicken dinner for Fen returns.
Wow, Fen returns having such a great performance in this first map. And so this is a great start. This is a great start for Fen returns. They have look at this, 12 total eliminations, and of course with the 10 points from that chicken dinner, we can expect that they can bag the number 1 overall rank. And so whether or not they can maintain this rank throughout the 11 next maps, that's something that will be seen. For now, we will look at the individual team stats of these players. So of course Scythe has 3 eliminations, and of course you saw that a while ago. And so so on and so forth. Look at those teams. Rather is they changed color. Look, Scythe has 3 eliminations. Lifey has 1, and binary numbers has 3, and Foosh has 5 eliminations. I misread that a bit, but look at that. Foosh's damage is 628 and 5 eliminations. Is such a good contribution to his team, and actually that goes the same for everyone else. And so congratulations once again to Friend Returns for such a great performance in that first map. And look at this, such a good start with 1.8k damage. And of course, this is the match summary. But so, Mike, what can you say about this first map?
And once again, that kicks off day number 1 for the Contender Series Season 4. Once again, Sandhawk, a pretty good map to get to know each other once again for all of the teams. And we're gonna be seeing a lot of matches later on with Erangel and Miramar, which again I'm just excited to see. And seems it's looking pretty good right here for Fen Returns. And while Fen Returns gets the spotlight, they also have to take note of Neon's presence, which is kind of looming right now. It's still match one, but Neon is showing a lot of potential as well. And Fen Returns, which a team we've been familiar with. At least, I mean, they got that MVP, they got the win, they got the chicken dinner. They have to keep that up in order to be part for the finals, which we will see on day number 7.
Yes, I was very excited to see Fen returns. And of course, we can see Fush was the MVP, and that's to be expected with 5 eliminations already. But going in second and third, Bako and Shady both with 4 eliminations, however. And so we can expect that these teams, from Neon especially, they also did really well. And of
Mm-hmm.
course, EST, they also did well. And so, although Fen returns, they had such a great run in this map. We will also have to take a look at Neon and Estella. Maybe these are potentially maybe our top 2 or top 3, especially if these players they have a consistent play style. We might be able to see them contending for number 2 and number 3, or maybe even against Fen Returns trying to dethrone them from the number 1 spot. It's something we'll see later on. But look at here, the match rankings. Of course, this is the first map, and so Fen returns, of course, number 1 with 22 points, Neon with 12, DOS with 10, and 3 teams rather going in for the fourth, fifth, sixth place with all 8 points. That will be 2MS, OTL, and LHC. Goat with 6 points, EST with 3, NRS with 3. And so that was the first part of our table. We should be seeing the second part of the table later on, but so far, if you see your favorite teams, do cheer for them in the live chat. Be excited for this season 4 because this is the last chance before any of these teams can walk in to the LAN event to qualify. And of course, this is the next part of the table. Trillia, Leo, TTS, and UK, they all walk away with 2 points from this map. However, United, CNS, Sersha, JNS, and Grave, they have 0 points for now.
And really, we were gonna be seeing later on once again, 3 matches of Erangel rather, and to be followed by 2 matches of Miramar, which is really exciting to see, especially match number 1 has already been kickstarted by Fen Returns. Although Neon is starting to show, and also that on sites they're showing their presence right now. So once again, I'm wondering on how they're gonna push this and maybe be a part during the 2 days, 12 matches. And I'm excited. Once again, we'll be seeing you later for Erangel. But for now, we'll be having a short break. Once again, we are your shoutcasters. I am Moik, and with me is Annie.
Once again, we are back to Maldives Championship Contender Series Season 4. This is group stage day 1, and yes, of course, group number 1, and so 18 teams will be competing to qualify for the finals. Once again, we are your casters. My name is Annie, and tonight with me is Mike. Mike, what's up?
Yes, thank you so much for that. And once again, match number two right here will be going into Erangel. And, we have three games for Erangel. That's going to be a lot of chance, a lot of opportunities for all of the teams to garner as much points as possible before they head on to day number two, which is gonna be their judgment day. Now, for day number one, they just have to gather a lot of points and to try to go for placement points. For now, we've seen some teams already trying to make their mark with Fen Returns being that number one, taking that number one spot to be followed by Neon, and now also that's gonna be third place will go to Dead on Site. Now that's still gonna be tentative. That's just one match that's gonna be for Sandhawk. But for now, seeing the progress later on, I'm wondering on how and what these teams will do to try to take the number top four spots.
Yes, definitely excited to see who can bag at least the top four of this group. Rather the group stage this season, because the top four that will make it to the finals will have a chance to join once again the LAN event, and this is the last chance for these teams to even qualify for such a great prize pool. And so for now, we're here in Erangel, the first Erangel of this group stage. We can see that the flight path is quite biased towards the south, and so I'm a little bit worried for these teams. They don't have a lot of choices to land to, and especially that circle. Can't even see maybe 30% of that circle. That circle's so far off in the southeast part of the map that a
Mm-hmm.
lot of it is in water, and a lot of it is off the cam as well, but we can actually see already some early game engagements. Once again, is that fan returns finding their first first three kills rather. Am I right, Mike? Yes,
I
actually,
think
that's
yeah.
nice. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, if you do look at it with fan returns, they do already got that few kills into their bag right now. They're really trying to keep the number one spot in their name, really. But for Trillia, they're trying to fight back here with the last number. That's gonna be up to Luca, though they're gonna be being raided by fan returns. One number goes down, a shotgun, a bullet to the head, and that would end as well for Trillia right there. And with fan returns, just really waiting for their teammate to being revived while their one member is down. So that's gonna be casualty for them. But if you do, I mean, they do have that advantage. They went in for early game engagements, but they're gonna be put at a disadvantage since they've put a target on their backs right now. So once the team spots them, it seems like they're gonna be attacked later on. I mean, especially right now, looking at the map, there's a nearby team that's DCM Sersha trying to take them down, but of course they're being very, very careful. So there's that. But for now, really, all of these teams trying to gain a lot of loot. I mean, it's kind of unexpected for it's really moments like these where they are unexpected because Erangel, Miramar, they're big maps, yet there's an early engagement happening. But right now, looking at the second camera right now, that's gonna be another team elimination for the side of Grave. And really, these teams as well. We've been seeing them in match number one. They've been garnering a lot of points as well.
Yes, they've actually garnered a lot of points. Sersha right here, supposedly the third party, but it seems that that won't be the case now, and 16 teams left standing in this Erangel. You'd expect that maybe Sandhawk would have been faster, but that's not the case. This Erangel map, we've seen more eliminations in the first 5 minutes rather than the previous game. And so that's pretty funny. We can actually see an ongoing engagement in the smaller camera already. And so this is just fun. This is just a funner angle map, something really unexpected happening. UK right here having a little bit of a trouble. One of their members is very low on health, but they haven't been eliminated off. And so that's what matters. That's definitely what matters as long as you're alive. to be able to contribute to your team, that's really all that matters. But for now, DCM Search, it looks like they will be rotating out of that area. They have the vehicles to do just that. And so we can expect that maybe they will try to secure a better area. Other than this compound, they have what they came for. They have already looted the place. And so they will be moving away, try to find another better location. And that might be the same case as some other teams here as well.
And with Estella, I mean, it's just funny to look at here with one number down. I mean, just really exposing himself while they're out on an adventure. I mean, the rest of them, at least, they're going to go for another area to gather some resources. But of course, for now, once again, Estella, they're kind of in a good spot. They just need the right place and the right loot and maybe the right openings to get a few kills from here and there. But you have to be aware of the top three teams that are really you can feel their presence, with Dead on side, Neon, and then Fen returns. But once again, for Fen returns, although one member is down, there's still gonna be a disaster later on, so they have to take them out as soon as possible in order for them to garner a few points only. But for now, looking at Goat Esports, kind of looking good, though they're gonna be facing UK right now, which is actually hiding right here. They're at an open area though, so that's there's a bit of a disadvantage if they get spotted by another team and then just from behind, then they would just be able to take them easily. But for now, I think we're gonna see some live action later on with UK versus Goat Esports.
Yes. And right now, you can see that UK is actually making a lot of ruckus. They know Goat is in there and they're taunting them with the sound of a vehicle. And so for now, they're both getting eaten up by that circle. And that's just something else that they should worry about. They have that time constraint. They have some damage going into their health. Still, stage one, first circle, it's not much to worry about, but it's something that they should take note of. They can't stay here for too long, and they're gonna be expending some health kits if they try to prolong this engagement. But so far, it seems that Goat, they're not doing well because they're getting sandwiched, really taking some damage over here. And all the while, the rest of their players are trying to get a shot at the members of UK, but so far it's not going really well for them. UK, they have the locations advantage. They know that Goat is just inside this building and they have them surrounded. It's very easy to have them surrounded, kind of just maybe do a divide and conquer or get them at the flank, get them from in front as well. And so it's not looking good for Goat. They could get waited out. They have to leave sooner or later. And UK, they can do just that because they are outside that building. But for now, it looks like Goat. Goat might be pushing in this one entrance. They're going into the open area, but Ace is not shooting just yet. They don't know if it's a good time to engage, and so Koot will be throwing that grenade, but so far it won't be resulting into any eliminations, any kills, any knocks even. And so for now, Goat versus UK. Wow, Yuli goes down by the hands of one member of UK. One on the revive on the side of Goat, and now there's only two people left that are still standing.
And right here, for Goat, they're reviving one member here. And while, I mean, they're really looking for a safe area here, but it seems like they just got hit from the side of UK and they just have to survive that another grenade damage right there ends one member from the side of Go Esports, while the other rest of the team are really just hiding away from UK. And it seems like the GOAT is the one being hunted right now for UK. And really, they're circling the area, they're circling the warehouse here to try to erase them as far as 8 minutes into the game. And really, I mean, if you do look at UK as well, one number is very low now, just waiting for a heal later on. But it seems like now Goat Esports is also ready in case all of the members from UK will start to attack them.
Not looking good for Akuma. He doesn't have that heal anymore. And so he goes down. No choice there. UK, however, has them surrounded. And they have the resources to wait this battle out. And so all they gotta do is kind of just wait because Goat Esports not looking good for them. And looks like UK, they've decided to push in. Akuma going down. And that would be the end of GOAT Esports UK sweeping in and cleaning up the mess. And so now all they can really do is clean up the mess, loot their bodies, and then get out of there because they're also getting eaten up by that circle. They gotta rotate out of there. This is a stage 2 circle, and so that damage might be a little bit more um hurtful than what they'd expect.
And really, for all the teams right now, we're nearing into the middle of the game, so they do have to be prepared. Especially that I think most of the teams are in the danger zone. They have to get away from that if because maybe I mean it's still stage 2. It doesn't really hurt that much, but since most of the teams are in the danger zone, they're gonna be greeting each other, so that's just gonna be disadvantageous to those with low health. But for now, the rest of the teams here are also preparing once again. Though if you do watch the scoreboard right now, there are some teams that are low on health, at least going in for a couple of heals. But it seems like looking at the map right now, it seems like most of the teams are into the play zone or outside the danger zone. So there's that. I mean, that's kind of a good thing, but once again, it's bad for those that are in the danger zone, especially in the waters right here. If you get spotted, you just get eliminated. But it seems like the map right here, the circle, it's maybe favoring for Sosnovka military base in Veropinoye, and both of these places. It's kind of a bit hard, especially when the circle will focus on that island, then you have to cross the two bridges, which is gonna be hard, if especially if someone's guarding the bridge.
There's a lot of potential for gatekeeping here, and those teams that have already made it into the island, they're gonna have some, more or less, free kills perhaps. But for now, it seems that LHC has found themselves in another engagement, not looking very good. Goat is quite low on health, but X right here, they have a grenade in hand. They will be trying to get these engagements against NRS, trying to get those kills or knocks. They're bombarding the building that NRS is in, but NRS, all their members are down in the first floor, and it seems that NRS one on the red. They're in trouble, but that's the same thing for LHC as well. Uh, LHC is also getting bombarded by their own grenades. A lot of their members are losing health and they're already getting eaten up by that circle. This is a stage 2 circle, and if they can't find a way to heal themselves amidst all this violence, they're gonna lose their lives. It's so NRS already one down on their team, but that goes the same to LHC as well. And so this is all a matter of playing the circle and playing those grenades, trying to get that damage in the bag, trying to out eliminate each other, and then rotating out of there.
And with LHC right here going in for a couple of plays inside the house, just using the walls to their advantage, both from LHC will go down, while the rest of NRS are also being very careful inside this house. Of course, one member is left for the side of LHC, but also for NRS, one member goes down once again for the grenade, and now they're really just grouping up here, using the house to their advantage, using the walls, and just really using that to cover them from the teams outside. And it seems like right now LHC is looking for a way to get inside very carefully, but with NRS they're also just really being aggressive over here, especially if they have a numbers advantage. But all that was happening, DCM Sersha goes down and just gonna be up to these last 14 teams. Now for the side of LHC, I'm not sure if they're really gonna commit for of to go for the kill for NRS, though one member is very very low on health. But I guess with Matos right here, just also using the location to his advantage and throws a grenade, goes for the damage right there, leaves LHC with a very very low health. While I mean both of these teams are just exchanging grenades right here, but it seems like LHC will find a kill on that grenade kill, gets a kill on that NRS, and the rest of NRS are also on the move as they wait for LHC to do something. And I think LHC is just again throwing a lot of grenades just to secure that they go down. And that would also, speaking of down, TTS Esports will also go down.
13 teams left standing in this Erangel map. It's going quite well, knowing that there's only 14 minutes into this game, and so it's quite exciting, especially NRS versus LHC over here. They're just basically throwing lots of grenades at each other, and you only have so many utilities, and so they gotta wait each other out. Eventually, they'll have to go into a gunfight. But that's all happening right now until now. Actually, NRS versus LHC. Desmond goes down from that 1 versus 1. It's not looking good for NRS. Matu's over here already rotating out of that area, trying to survive for their team because he is the last person standing. And it seems that he knows Desmond is basically a lost cause, and so they're cutting their losses. Matthews over here just playing for the placement points now, and so he will be rotating out of there because that stage 3 circle is already eating him up as well.
And with NRS right here, one member left once again, Matos. We've seen him play. At least it's gonna be up to him. It's gonna be up to Matos, and we're excited to see on how he's gonna try to destroy. I think he's just gonna be that nuisance later on for all of the teams if they do go for a lot of fights. But for now, focusing once again our POV right here for the downside, which is one of the three teams that are showing their capabilities early on since match number one. And also, if you do look at other teams with Fen returns, they're alive once again with just three members. The that last member died a while ago, early in the game, but they do have four eliminations, still keeping up. Putting them in the number one spot to be followed by that on side, which is slowly catching up with 17 points, and also Neon following up that up with 16.
That seems to be the case. And looking at this, we're 13 teams in, 44 players left standing in this Erangel map. So it's going a little bit fast. We're still 16 minutes into the game. And so right now, all eyes on 2MS against this other team on the other side. And so whether or not they'll have an engagement, that might be possible because there's gotta be some warning signs from the side of 2MS. They've given away their locations, they've revved out those engines, and so there's a potential engagement here. But so far, we might be seeing a third party as well. We see another color going in from the northern part. That would be UK, and so I'm just excited here. Neon swooping in with UK on the northern side. And so Neon Dark here, they're making a lot of noise with their hovercraft. And so
Ooh.
UK right there, they can see Dark and they are shooting at Dark, but that won't result into anything because Dark did get some chip damage, but it didn't result into any knocks.
Kind of surprised that they didn't go in for the charge. They are full with the team. So, at that point, UK could have just taken them out. But I think they really survived that one, and they had another fighting chance later on for the side of Neon. And looking at them, the second cam right here, seems like there's also an action happening right there, going in for a couple of downs and just really confirming the kills. But of course, the rest of the teams right here, I think they're really preparing, especially this time with the 17 minutes. But while that was happening, that on site will go down, and it's just gonna be up to these 12 teams to actually go in for chicken dinner right now. Once again, Fen Returns will hold the current number one spot, and it's looking pretty good for them, especially that they're heading on to this game with a bit of an advantage. Though they're kind of marked, but I think for now we're gonna see some action with Neon versus UK.
Hopefully we can see that action very soon because that circle is basically like 50% water. And so these teams, the last 12 teams standing, they don't have a lot of choices when it comes to positioning themselves on land. And so this is very tight. This is a very tight place to be. And so these teams, they will be forced to face each other, and that is the case right now. Lots of teams going down, lots of players going down. But will this result into elimination? It seems that one team is very close to getting wiped out. This is something very worrying. We can already see those team numbers trickling down to 10 teams, and CNS finds their end. But for now, there's 28 players left standing. NRS also gets eliminated, but Neon Shady over here throwing those grenades at Ace. One more damage, more good shot, and Ace can potentially get picked off here. They could get knocked down and potentially get eliminated as well. And we can see, speaking of elimination, LHC finds their end as well. Neon, however, doing a really good job with 8 eliminations to their name for their whole team, but Shady needs that revive. Their best player, 5 eliminations just to his own name. He's gotta do something because he needs that revive. He needs his He needs his teammates, and it looks like Shady's not doing really well right now. But looking here at ESC, Sage is quite low on health on the red, and Fen Returns is at a distance. And so, with those sprays coming in, it won't result into any knocks and eliminations just yet. But for now, Fen Returns doing really well with 6 eliminations. However, they only have 2 players left standing.
And the team right now charging, going into the charge. Just by the tick of time as he revived his teammate, and he goes in for peek, goes in for a couple of sprays right there, takes one down, and now just wait for the other team to go down as well. Once again, with Fendetters, they're fighting once again. It seems like they're getting caught right here, but that would end their demise right here as they go down in the number 8 spot for this round, match number 2. But once again, for now, we will focus on to LNN Outlaws, which I think they actually have the advantage to get the chicken dinner right now. Though if you do look at other teams as well, they're also prepared with Neon. They have their warehouse as their cover with outrage as well. They have their place to go in for a protection really at this point. But for now, all the other teams like with Leons United, they're also preparing for an all-out war later on, which 7 teams and stage 5. It's gonna be very very crucial, especially that there are a lot of buildings, a lot of containers to just use as their cover. But for now, all teams right now going for focus sprays right here for 2MS Esports. They're trying to connect the bullets right there, but the shots won't connect. However, trying to at least get a few damage, just really wasting their medkits. But for now, another action goes in right here. Neon getting flanked, and now going in for a couple of sprays as well. Just really waiting for the team as they take a few damage of their own as well. With Neon, at least again 3 members saving once again for a chance to get the chicken dinner, and that would end for United.
Yes, speaking of end, Reaper almost finds his end as well. Only 1 player left on their team standing, but ESC quite a good position here by A getting those sprays in to that smoke, and he finds actually Sage finds that elimination, and so that's going really well for their side of the team, but they only have 2 players left standing, and they only have 4 eliminations so far. But we are down to 6 teams, and so it's really possible that they could bag some placement points. But all the while, LNN Outlaws, their last member standing, not looking very well. Although ESC basically kind of just walked past him. It's a good position to hide in, but it seems that he'll be finding his end very soon. So AU right here throwing their car into the water and just defying physics basically. But it's going well for their team. Sage does need that revive, and AU got eaten up, and that is the end for ESC. A pretty anticlimactic end if you ask me.
And now we're down to the last 4 teams. Once again, that's gonna be JNS versus 2MS, Leo, and Neon. Seems like it's looking good right. I mean, they will get a placement points from this, but it's just gonna be a bit hard because especially they only have 1 member remaining and 1 member is down. So for all of the teams, I think it's looking good right here for 2MS with 6 eliminations and 3 members currently alive. But for now, with Leo, seems like one is getting gunned down right there, leaving with a very, very low health, and 2MS are just going in straight for the charge while being very careful as well. But of course, for Leo here, they're preparing if some people will go inside. But 2MS is also just throwing in a lot of throwables right here. And 1 member goes down from the Molotov from Thugs, and just once again going in, rotating and repositioning before they take them down. And there's gonna be an end for Neon, and now just gonna be up to these last 3 teams: 2MS Esports, JNS, and Leo.
Yes, and Leo not looking very good, however, because they have 2 members that need the revive, and so they have it's not really a numbers disadvantage, but that's a potential pick off on their side. If they don't revive their players, they might get equalized because they do have 1 player left standing, and all the while Playzone takes down Zeus from the side of 2MS, and so at least the elimination doesn't go to another squad, but still they lose 1 member. 2MS is just a 1-person squad. That goes the same with JNS, and so Leo, they lost 1 player as well, and so this might be a 1 versus 1 versus 1. Yako getting that elimination in the bag, and so Leo, they have 1 player that could potentially get picked off, and that's a potential elimination on the side of Zoro if he can find that player. But so far, that's not. It might not be a very good place to be in, and so he just walks away from that elimination. But now, one versus one versus one. Actually, there are two players left. I mean, rather, there are two players left remaining in 2MS, and so this is a two versus one. So far, 2MS doing really well with 10 eliminations to their name. And now with Leo gone, it's 2MS versus JNS. 2 versus 1. Shati not looking very good. Shati not looking very good for his side. It's out in the open. And 2MS has two players left standing. And now with that
Ooh.
last kill on Shati, this will be a winner-winner chicken dinner for the side of 2MS.
And that match number two going in to 2MS Esports, which is really, I think we've mentioned this a while ago. They have that advantage with their location, and as well as the rest of the team are just really coordinating with each other, and especially the other teams that were really exposed out in the open. So with 2MS Esports, they really played that well, and all of the teams they played, and they were really on their teamwork. I mean, with Vacox right here, 6 eliminations and a whopping 800 damage, 831 to be exact, and very very impressive for this team. And a while ago, I was saying that on site Neon and Fen Returns, they were on their they already showed on their potential, but it seems like right now 2MS Esports is also starting to show their big guns as they grab this second chicken dinner.
Yes, potentially we might be able to see 2MS overtake the first ranking, but that's something that it's too early to tell, you know. This is still the second map, and of course we can see the comparison between 2MS and Neon right here. 2MS just a 300, around 300, maybe 400 points away from Neon in terms of damage. And of course, we can have the MVP of this whole map. That would be Neon's Shady with wow, 7 eliminations and 1,062 damage. That's absolutely crazy amount of damage and amount of eliminations. And so Shady, so far, such good performances. And hopefully we can see Neon step up in the next maps because absolutely great amount of points contributed just to their team.
And if you do look at other teams as well, I mean, for the top players, we have here Shady from Neon once again, and to be followed by 2MS Esports with Vecox. I've mentioned them a while ago. To be followed from Leon as well with 4 eliminations, and once again from 2MS Esports with 4 eliminations, and that's gonna be number 5 spot right there for with 4 eliminations as well.
Mm-hmm. A lot of players getting 4 eliminations. And the difference basically is just on the damage, who gets the last hit. And that's where it matters. The last hit is really all that matters. You can get your kills stolen from under your nose, and that elimination won't go to your team. And speaking of which, 2MS, 22 points all together in this just one map, and second place goes to Neon with 15 and Leo with 12 points. And of course we have four different teams walking away with 7 points and etc. Those were the standings of your favorite teams. Some of these teams they fell off in this second map, but of course this is a wrangle, and a while ago that was Sandhawk, so there are some teams that could be better faring in Erangel, some teams that would be better faring at Sandhawk. But all the while, it just goes to show that, you know, this is PUBGM. There's a lot of factors going in to how these teams can play out, how these teams will fare in these games. And so what really that matters is the consistency of how these teams will play. Make sure that they don't get picked off early on, and make sure they bag a lot of eliminations in order to get those points into the overall rankings.
And here we have the overall rankings. To MS Esports leads number one spot right here with 30 points, to be followed by Fen Returns with 29, and also Neon with 27. And now the list goes on with Dead on Site 17, Outrage Leo with 14, LNN Outlaws 13, SDMZ LHC 11, and Estella with 10 points. The rest are still at the one digit mark, and it's still match number two, 10 more matches really before all these players can secure their spot and go into the grand finals. But once again, they're still at the group stage, the qualifiers. Just well, all of these teams are really just trying their best to garner a lot of points as possible to be part of the grand finals, which will happen once again on day number 7. For now, day number 1, we're still good to go with all of these teams. We have 2 more matches with Erangel and 2 more matches with Miramar. So I'm excited on how they will really end up, and especially right now that we're surprised with how things ended up. Fen got that match number 1 chicken dinner, and 2MS Esports gets the second chicken dinner. For now, the rest of these 4 matches, we'll see them later on. So we could actually see some potential teams once again getting surprising chicken dinners. And I think it's just really a matter of getting that opportunity, getting a lot of openings. But for now, again, all of these teams, they do have their potential. The rest of the teams, they do have to be aware of the leading teams right now, which once again, Neon, Fen Returns, and 2MS Esports. For the prize pool, if you do look at the live right now, again, 7,000 to be followed by 4,000. I mean, it's just gonna be immense. After this, they also have the chance to go into the 100,000 land, the land event. So I'm really excited on that as well. But for now, before we move on to match number 3, once again, this is the second. I mean, for now, a while ago it was the first match. Later on, it will be the second match in the map of Erangel, and that would be match number 3. So for now, we will see you later on. Will we have our short break? And once again, your shotcasters. I am Moik, and with me is Annie. Bye bye. Once again, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. We are your shoutcasters for tonight. I'm Mike, and with me is Annie. Once again, welcome to the Maldives Championship Contender Series Season 4, where once again, these teams will battle it out, especially with a chance to fight later on with a worth 100,000 for the land event. Annie, what's up?
Yeah, once again, my yes, season four of this a wonderful tournament. We've already seen the past 3 seasons. We've already seen the potential for some of these teams to walk into the LAN event and be come at it with 100K and the prize pool. So that's something really exciting. But back to the present. This is season four. We're seeing three different groups once again competing for a spot in the finals. And so what they're gonna have to do right now is walk into match number three, our second Erangel map for tonight. So that's what we're seeing right now. We're seeing the flight path for these 18 wonderful teams for the Secularango map. This is their third chance to try to bag as much points as possible to their name and to basically boost their way up the leaderboards. So this is really exciting because we can already see some potential teams that we might be seeing within the top four. Fan returns, for example, 2MS are two chicken dinner winners so far. And then, of course, Neon has actually a really good performance so far as well. So, eyes on these teams. And, of course, for everyone else, we might be seeing something different in this third map. That, once again, it's still too early to tell into this group stage who will really be bagging those four slots for the finals. And so it's just really exciting. I hope to see something really exciting here in this Erangel map right now.
And match number three, once again, three more matches later on. But for now, I think we're really starting to see a lot of potential teams, especially with the ones a while ago, two matches in, and we've already seen their patterns and the way they play. And I think if they're gonna be consistent with that, especially for today. And once again, they do have uh 10 matches remaining, including this one. So they have to make it they have to give it their a they have it to bring their A game right here, and to really just garner a lot of points before they get chosen for the top spots to fight in the grand finals. But if you were also tuning in a while ago, we've seen a lot of potential teams that will be joining the grand finals. We have Fenritons, we have 2MS Esports. I mean, there's a lot of teams to consider, especially with Neon. We've been seeing a lot of their presence for the straight two games. So for now, in another game of Erangel, we're excited to see on maybe some teams who would start to shine, or maybe these same teams would try to widen the gap even more by their points.
Yeah, speaking of gap, take a look at the leaderboards on the right side of the screen. Of course, 2MS, they have those 30 points and they are ranked number one. But Fan Returns is only lagging behind by 1 point. And so it's so easy for Fan Returns to potentially overtake 2MS, especially that there's still 10 maps pending. And of course, that goes the same with Neon as well. Only 3 points away from 2MS. And so just one really good game from any of these two teams, and they can potentially bag the first place once again, completely dethroning 2MS. So what 2MS can do right now is basically just be very consistent and try to widen the gap between the number one spot and the number two spots. And of course, that goes the same as well to Fan Returns and Neon. They could overtake 2MS and then put a gap between them and the number two. So that's just the plan for the top three. Going in the top four, however, there's quite a big drop. DOS is 10 points away from Neon, which is the third place. And so for these teams of number four going down, there's a lot of catching up to do. But all the while, LHC finds the first knock on 2MS of all people. It looks like
Mm-hmm.
Monko. They have their eyes, they have their crosshairs on a potential elimination, but doesn't commit to that just yet. And so we just have to wait and see what the plan of Manko is. He can shoot right now. He can shoot those shots, try to get that elimination. He's got a clear shot. He's gotta just do it, man. Just do it. Just get those eliminations. He's not doing it, Mike. This is so frustrating to watch.
Exactly, and I was looking at the one member is down. So at this point, I mean, LHC is really just taking this as an opportunity to take one of them as soon as possible, especially that 2MS has taken the number one spot. And it seems like they're really at a disadvantage right here since they're out in the open. So, I mean, at least someone's getting revived but you're still gonna be in danger, especially that LHC is just watching you from afar.
Yeah, that's definitely the case. That's definitely the case. LHC is maybe trying to play it safe, but all the while, 2MS, the other two members, they are at a distance. Manko, they probably have some information that one wrong step they might get picked off, but Manko tried to get some damage in and does just that, but it doesn't it doesn't result into any elimination so far. 2MS making a lot of ruckus, and LHC's GOAT is a free kill right there, but whether or not they will be able to bag that elimination, that's something that we'll see later on. But for now, it seems that's the case. Vaco finally puts the nail on the coffin and gets the first blood of this map.
And first blood on the map right on, and really it just shows that all of these teams right here, they're starting to show their potential, especially the almost 6 minutes into the game and first blood is happening. You do kind of expect that, especially for a map like Erangel, which is quite big, and especially this is game number 2 for Erangel's map. So maybe all of the teams are kind of practicing already on where to play, where to land, where to hide, where just loot. And I think it led to that kind of early engagement. I mean, not really that early if you do think about it, 6 minutes into the game. But once again, I mean, it's just gonna be a matter of uh, going in, gearing up, looting up as well, and all of these teams are just fighting it out really at this point. Fen returns right here. I'm wondering with Fuchs right here showing very, very early out in the open. So he might get spotted or he might get taken out. But I'm curious as to how they're gonna pull this off if they're really gonna commit to this.
Yes, hopefully they can pull it off because so far Fenriters are doing a really great job. But Push right here, they know that if they put some bullets into DCM Sersha, he would be giving away his location. So once again, trigger discipline from both sides, but I actually saw some damage going in on the side of DCM, but that won't result into any HPs going down except now some bullets coming in from Jumbo Fan, but it won't connect so far. And so, time to reset some of these locations. And right now, DCM Sersha, they're in a little bit of trouble. But speaking of trouble, Jumbo Fan gets knocked down himself. He's out in the open in the roof, and so it's not looking good for him. Now, Jumbo Fan needs that revive, and so Scythe is coming to the rescue. And so, for now, the Sims Sersha, they're out of the woods. They can still walk away with 4 players standing, but how long will that stay true? That is the question.
And the rest of the team right here with Shersha, they're also preparing, especially that Fen returns is on the hunt, looking for them, just trying to take them down with life here, just going in for a couple of taps, trying to connect the bullets, but they won't, especially all of them. Both of these teams, they got the cover right in their houses right now in the shelters. So at this point, really, I think they're really confident. They really want to take them down that fast, especially with 8 minutes into the game. And it seems like right here, Fuse just took one of them down inside the vehicle. And they're also, while that was happening, TTS also got kills on the off screen right now. But it seems like for the side of Fen right here, they're going straight just to really eradicate here and eliminate Shersha. And Shersha, I think they're preparing as well for the invasion right here for Fen Returns.
Basically, Fan Returns pushes into the area where DCM Sersha is push. Might be getting just that, but so far, 0 eliminations. Make that 4 already in a blink of an eye. They completely wiped out Sersha in just a few seconds. If you saw, that went from 0 to 4 so fast in several parts of the map. Basically, Sersha gets wiped out all at the same time by the members of Fan Returns. That's absolutely crazy. Teamwork and timing, just surrounding and pushing into the DCM Sersha. And Sersha could not do anything at this point. Now, fan returns, they can come in and get the loot that they basically worked hard for, and they have to reset a bit. It's a good thing that we can't see any third party coming in anytime soon, and so they're quite safe. They can reset, they can get those HPs back into their health, and so fan returns, they're doing quite well so far in this map.
And exactly right here, since they've taken them down, at least for the side of for the side of Sersha, it's looking kind of bad, especially them being eliminated. As the last team for this match. They have three more matches for today, and they really have to do their best to try to fight back to try gain a lot of points. But it seems like right now they will have to take a rest right here. That Fen Returns has already eliminated them, being the first team to be eliminated for this map with 10 minutes into the game. It's gonna be a slow burn, but later on it's just gonna be a lot of action, especially for all of these teams. Once again, there have been potential teams right now with Fan, 2MS, Neon, Dead on Site. If you can just look at the leaderboard right now, and it seems like they're really preparing for it. Though from the side of Neon right here, seems like they get one down right there, and they just really want to get that kill. And I think for the side of CNS Esports, they're kind of just messing around for a bit while they look for potential threats. But for now, they're just playing it out here, playing for the time, maybe just really going in for a placement point. But for now, once again, Fen returns. They're really going in for the hunt to try to garner a lot of kills.
Yeah, that's the plan. Try to garner a lot of kills. Trying to get those eliminations because each elimination is 1 point. And so even if you don't get any placement points from this map, still gotta rack out those points. And that's something that you should really think about because there's still 17 teams up in the running for this match, and so there's a lot of competition to be had. But all the while, Fan finds a second engagement, but all the while gets Jumbo Fan is needing that revive, but all the while Flush runs over a member of another squad. But Society Fan in some trouble. They get shot down, and Jumbo Fan actually gets sent to the grave, and so this is looking quite bad for Friend Returns in terms of numbers. They've already lost Jumbo, but Scythe over here needs to be revived, and actually they find that revive, and so they might be able to walk away with three members in their team, but all the while Leon's United not looking good for them either. They've already lost Yuyan, and so they're only a three-man squad, and they only have one elimination so far. And they probably disengaged from the fight because it's not looking good for them. They have to get out of there. They have to reposition themselves, and they probably I haven't seen the engagement that led to this three-man team, but it's probably not a good look for them, and so they're disengaging. They're just trying to find another location and potentially maybe find some engagements if ever they run into another squad.
And with CNS, I think they're also trying to get a lot of kills right here since they're now at stage number three. And really, I think that we can see a lot of vehicles right now for the side of UK. It could be a fast and furious game right here for both of these teams, just trying to maybe get to a good position before they can fight back. And I think CNS is ready for that and just waiting for the rest of UK esports to go in for the charge, and it seems like one of them goes down. But of course, the rest of the team from CNS Esports are going in for the rescue as well as they go in straight for the charge. Ace right here, prepared with a grenade, and now goes boom, and one goes down for side of CNS Esports once again. And here for Nono, he's stuck inside the warehouse, just looking for looking on the UK on where they will get inside. But one grenade goes once again, leaving Nono with very low HP remaining. And could he live with that? Very low HP. Grenade goes
Oh,
boom. And there goes no for CNS. And that's going to be their elimination once again.
oh man, CNS, they couldn't get that revive on time, and that grenade just hits right. That just hits so well that both the two last members of CNS, they were very low on health, and so it wasn't looking good for them. But great shot from UK right here. They bagged 4 points from that engagement, and so that's basically a high risk and low take. I mean, high risk, high reward, and so they walk away with number one, 4 players eliminated from that squad, and they also get the loot from that. So it's just good. It's a good trade off, you know. It's good, going good for their side, going good for UK, and hopefully we can see UK kind of climb up the leaderboards. For now, they are number 9, but potentially they could do better. And then, oh, it's still too early to tell in the game. So hopefully, maybe we can see some of these teams, and maybe the second half of the table suddenly shooting up into maybe top 4, top 3 for some reason. But right now it's a little bit quiet. Once again, 2MS, they're still doing quite well in that circle. At least that circle is going into a lot of land right now. There's still a river, but yes, there's a lot of land. Potentially open field. There's a possibility of an open field late game. And speaking of late game, will we be approaching that right now? It doesn't seem to be the case, but there are some engagements going on in the kill feed.
And the rest of these teams right here could be. I mean, a while ago it was a lot of slow burn, but later on we're gonna see a lot of engagements for all of these teams, especially that right now. If you do look at the map, TTS Esports, they're going into the fray. They're actually getting inside in a low health, so it puts them in a bit of a disadvantage, and especially they can get greeted by a lot of teams. So they have to stay outside of that area and just really go for a couple of wheels before they get inside. But if you do look at the chicken dinner, the winner chicken dinner from last game, 2MS Esports right here, they're also ensuring their spot, ensuring a safe spot for now. But in the kill feed, UK seems to get a lot of kills, and that's actually domination for Ace. We've been seeing him, especially when they eliminated the other teams as well. But for now, Fen returns just staying in their house. At least they're safe for now, just waiting for a couple of enemies to get inside before they can take them out and go reposition.
Mm-hmm. Seems that's the plan for Fen returns. They will be repositioning, and all the while for the other teams, 2MS, they only have 4 eliminations so far. Maybe they haven't had any luck running into another squad, but right now we can actually see Goat Esports at a distance making a lot of noise with their cars, and so this might be a potential pickoff for the side of 2MS, but that goes the same as well the other way around. Speaking of which, LHC versus Fen Returns, we can see some trades coming in for both sides, and actually that would be the end of Fen Returns for this map, taken down by the hands of LHC. And so that would have been exciting to see how that happened. But for now, we're down to 14 teams left standing in Erangel, and that might be 13 very soon. Looking at the kill feed, seems that there are
Mm.
several engagements going in simultaneously in this map.
And with Gold Esports right now, they're trying their best as well to go for placement points. But if you do look for the 2MS, they're kind of out in the open, puts them in a big of a disadvantage, especially if they get caught by a lot of teams. But if you do look at it now, seems like they're gonna spot UK right here. Who knows? They might actually escape or just go in straight for the charge, go in for a couple of sprays right there. The shot trying to connect, but of course they're at a bit of a disadvantage. Seems like they're very out in the open against UK. But of course, the rest of the team are just gunning them straight into it. 2MS Esports goes in with a vehicle right there, and now Thugs is just slinging them out, just killing them once again, going in. And while they were using the walls to cover for them, it was just gonna be too late as one member from UK is alive, and now the rest of the 2MS Esports are just finishing them all together.
Yes, and finishing off, get those eliminations in the bag. Thugs needs that revive. It's not looking good for 2MS. They are in such a bad position. This house is not good for them. UK has them surrounded. So we might be seeing at the end of one of these teams. And speaking of the end of these teams, DOS gets eliminated so far. Off cam of course, but there's a lot of action to be had. 2MS Vaco on the red gets
Ooh.
knocked down, and just one good shot. Just one good shot, and that's an elimination on the side of UK. But they won't be finding that just yet. Right now, UK, they're down to 2 people. They've lost 2 players on their roster, and so if they wanna bag more points, they add five. They add more points to those 5 eliminations that they already have. They gotta do something. They gotta take some risks. But it's hard right now because they are only 2 players on their side. At TTS, however, they're doing quite well. And they have Trillia on their crosshairs. Luca, the last person standing. What can you do against four members of TTS? So far, TTS such a good performance. Already 10 eliminations to their name. And all the while, 2MS is still alive, going at it with UK. Get some sprays in. That's one more elimination in the bag for their side. Will that be an 8? No, so far, Thugs gets knocked down instead. And so, with that last nail in the coffin, swooping in is Outrage Leo trying to clean up the mess. There's Sparky in the bag. One versus one, two versus one rather, but Naomi goes down from that exchange. That 2 versus 1 was the victory of 2MS, however. And so, with 9 eliminations on their side, they're doing quite well despite being only 2 players left standing. But Lazy needs that revive if they want to stay a 2-man team. Because it's not looking really good if another team swoops in and finds their location. Potentially the end for them, but for now it seems that Lazy will still be alive. Neon is at the distance, has Ace on their crosshairs, tries to shoot at it, but is getting shot at as well. So Yonko has to reposition, and now we can see that UK is completely eliminated from this exchange.
And now Goat Esports being eliminated leaves with 7 teams remaining. Neon also throwing in a couple of grenades to fight them back, but of course it's kind of a bit far to reach to MS Esports, and he has to throw it a little bit further. But of course, that would leave him out in the open. And while that was happening, LHC will get an off-screen kill right there, which would actually eliminate J and S. And of course, now down to the last 6 teams. Once again, we are nearing to the end. A while ago, it was a lot of slow burn, but for now, we're seeing a lot of fast-paced action for all of these teams. Neon, LHC, NRS, they're all prepared to fight, to go for an all-out war right now. But for all of these teams, it's looking kind of good for NRS to only get 1 member down. But for TTS Esports, Cloud seems like he's getting into the second floor just to get shot by Trilia Luca, and now go in for a couple of heals before the rest of TTS Esports are looking for a way to fight back, especially with a grenade thrown into the window. Luca just trying to avoid that and just puts him puts himself out in the open, so it's a little bit of a disadvantage. But it seems like Neon took down 1 member from 2MS Esports, and TTS just going in straight for the charge, but Aku goes down, and that's gonna be an elimination right there for Trilia, and now NRS helping his team once again down to the last 4 teams: LHC, TTS, NRS, and Neon.
We're down to 5 teams left in this game with that one elimination on the side of NRS not looking good for their side. And now NRS is down to 1 player left, and that is actually the complete elimination of their team. So far, the rest of these squads not looking really good. Neon, the only 2-person squad, and they have the numbers advantage against the other 3 teams. LHC, TTS, and 2MS, they only have 1 member each. So, Bako and Yonko, right now, they have the numbers advantage, and they can potentially pick off the rest of these squads. Because of course, these squads, they will be trying to take each other down as well. They're just one-man teams. So, Bako, what is your plan? It seems that he has a grenade in hand. It doesn't seem to be the case, however, that might have been a smoke. Some damage coming in on Shafi for the side of TTS. Will that be an elimination? So far, some more bombarding from the side of Bako, but Shafu fights back. Throws a grenade as well. This seems like a grenade fight because this is too risky to become a 1 versus 1 gunfight, because Neon once again still 2 players left standing. Shafu doing all they can, actually gets a knock on Bako. Bako is in trouble, needs that revive, and 2MS Lazy gets shot down by the side of Neon as well, and that will be the end of 2MS. Now this is down to 2 teams, actually 2 teams left standing: LHC and TTS. Neon, they had numbers advantage, but in the end they got picked off, and now this is between LHC's DWDZ versus Shafu from TTS Esports.
And once again, 1v1, this is looking thrilling for both of these teams, with LHC and DTS Esports battling it out. Actually, these teams are familiar for me, and once again, for season 4, it seems like LHC gets into the car, makes a mistake right there, and it's gonna be an end for LHC, giving the chicken dinner for TTS Esports.
Yeah, TTS winning that one versus one against LHC, and they bagged this winner chicken dinner for themselves with an overall ranking of number 4, match points 23 with total eliminations of 13. So far, the match points is the highest so far for any map, because the other two maps they only had 22. So one more elimination for the side of TTS, that made all the difference, and they have a total points of 26. Although they're only in number 4, still they managed to shoot themselves up so high up in the rankings. And of course, these are the individual stats. Cloud getting 5, and Smokey with Shafu getting 3 each, and Aku getting 2 eliminations. Aku did get picked off quite early on, and so that's understandable that the damage is only around just a little bit less than 400. But everyone else, they crossed the 700 damage mark, and so that is just a great performance coming in from this TTS Esports. And of course, this is the match summary, etc. 2 vehicle eliminations, 65 eliminations, and so these 18 teams, they are out for blood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, if you also look at the comparison once again to MS Esports, the winner chicken dinner last game, compare that with TTS Esports. I mean, the damage is
In this
just popping.
finals.
Yeah, I mean, you want to just take a look at these teams. 2K, 2.7K versus 1.7K from both of these teams. Once again, a very, very big damage difference. But once again, our MVP will go to 2MS Esports with Vacox right here. And with 6 elimination, 1.1K damage is just a lot, you know. And I think at this point, you know, 2MS at least, I mean, they got a lot of kills as well. They got the placement points. But for now, I mean, the spotlight will go to TTS Esports. And once again, our top players right here with Vacox takes that number one spot. Cloud to be followed from TTS Esports. And now Yonko and Shafu from TTS Esports once again. And Smokey, which is, I think, Smokey, the rest of the team from TTS Esports, they're really coordinated, and that just puts them in a very good place with especially 23 overall points.
Yes, that is the overall points that got bagged in by TTSB Esports. But all the while, 2MS coming in second place with 14 points. And Neon, once again, with that consistent, consistently always just there somewhere in the top in the match rankings. They walk away with 12 points for this game. And LHC coming in fourth with 11, NRS with 10. Lots of these teams are doing quite well. But Fan, however, they only walk away with 5 points in this map. It's still something. It's still quite a lot. This is still ranked number 6 in the match rankings, but still, if they want to keep their spot in the top maybe 3, they have to play consistently, just like Neon. Although Neon didn't get any chicken dinner so far, still, I'm pretty confident that they're quite high up in their leaderboards because they just have such a consistent play style. And so I'm quite confident in that team.
And you know, match rankings once again. TTS Esports gets that, you know, for the third game, which is looking at the pattern. It's, I think I've mentioned it a while ago that other teams are also starting to step up, and it seems like we're really surprised because TTS Esports are starting to step up as well, taking that fourth place to be followed by Fen Returns with 34 points, taking the number 3 spot, and Neon with a number 2 spot, and 2MS Esports once again holding that number 1 spot. A while ago, we saw Fen Returns being holding that number 1 spot, but for this game, 2MS Esports, they've stepped it up a notch and just started to widen the gap for all of these teams.
And it seems that Neon is actually just 5 points away from overtaking 2MS. And so there's a possibility, especially with Neon's consistent playstyle, there's a possibility that they could overtake 2MS. But that goes the same with maybe Fan Returns and TTS as well. They have a chance, but not as much as Neon. And they have to play consistently, and they have to have a really good game in order to overtake 2MS. And so that's just something that we'll be seeing later on. And for everyone else involved, for everyone who's below the top five, they gotta do something. We're already 3 matches in, and there's only about 9 chances left to get those points in the bag. This is still a group stage, and you gotta prove yourselves worthy of
Mm,
stepping into the finals. And so, for now, these are the top players, of course. 2MS Vakok with 15 eliminations already. Shady with 11, Yonko with 9, Fush from DCM with 8, and TTS Cloud, of course, with 7. These players, they've done really good contributions to their team, and so congratulations once again. This has been match number 3 with a chicken dinner going into TTS Esports. We are gonna move into the last Erangel map for tonight for match number 4, and of course we will be seeing 2 Miramar maps on match number 5 and match number 6. But for now, we will be taking a short break before we move into match number 4. So for y'all watching the live stream, don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a few minutes.
Once again, we are back into the Maldives Championship Contender Series Season 4. We are Shoutcaster once again. I am Moik, and with me is Annie. Now we're heading into match number 4, which is the third match for the map of Erangel. Now, once again, all of these teams, group number 1, they're trying their best right now, and I can see all of these teams are really going in, getting a lot of kills, going in for placement points to try to secure their spot to be a part for the finals. But for now, all of these teams, we are heading on to the last 3 matches for this day, to be followed with 6 matches tomorrow to finalize their standings and to finally decide who will move on to the finals.
Yes, and that's basically what's happening right now. We are in match number 4, the fourth chance for this group number 1 to prove themselves worthy of stepping into the finals. And so we can see the flight path basically more or less a little bit biased towards the eastern side of Erangel, but still there's an equal amount of chance going east and west. And so maybe towards the side of Gatka shooting range, Perry Pier, it's still possible to reach. And of course, the eastern side, everywhere else is actually quite accessible as well. And so we can see the first phase of the circle is going towards the eastern side of the map. Still a lot of land to play around with, but there's still considerable amount of water, and some of the military base is still open up. And so there's still a possibility that if the circle is trying to be funny here, there's a possibility that we might see an end game in the military base, but it's not likely. And so these these players, they can kind of play it safe a bit, just gather those resources first. There's the circle is something that you can worry about later, and now they just have to secure a lot of good locations, a lot of good loot in order to really kind of prepare for the late game. Because so far there aren't any early game engagement. I can't hear any gunshots being fired, and I don't see anyone going down in the kill feed just yet.
And yes, I mean, it's still early. It's still 2 minutes of the game. All the teams are just landing, and it's the third match for Erangel. I think players are starting to will try to just go in for a lot of kills at this point. We're hoping for an early engagement here, but it's still it's they have a few more matches before they can be a part of the finals. Of course, we can see some possibilities that they are going to be very, very careful. But once again, I mean, for now, all is good for all of them. And yeah, I mean, so far, they still have a lot of threats, especially for TTS Esports, 2MS, which actually garnered number 1 spot and is trying to widen the gap, especially with their 44 points. And yeah, I mean, all of the
Oh,
teams still, there are a lot of potential. But for now, seems like seems like Leo right here, one member is going in for a couple of sprays, takes one down, and the rest of the team from CNS Esports are sensing a little bit of danger right here as one of their member goes down, and it's just gonna be up to the rest of the team to try to help him up and try to take Leo down as well.
yes, and that was the first knock of this game, but it doesn't result into an elimination. Although Leo, they are trying to push in to the territory of CNS, and CNS are not doing quite well. No is still down. They haven't found the opportunity to kind of revive him, but all the while there is another engagement somewhere out there in the map, and we saw the first blood just now in between those two teams. But between CNS and Outrage Leo doesn't seem to be fruitful just now. This is a bit of a standstill for these two teams. They are trying to find Nono, trying to get that elimination in the bag, and the longer it
Mm.
goes, the more Nono is at risk of dying. And so far here in the balcony versus the inside of this house, the potential 1 versus 1. And Mambo trying to push in. Not a good idea. 1 versus 1 between these doors, but
Mamba.
it's Leo that goes down, and that is an elimination going into the favor of the side of CNS Esports, and that is actually a complete elimination of one squad. And now CNS and Leo, it's not over for them just yet. It's CNS trying to get those eliminations on Leo Outrage, and actually in that building over there in the northwestern part, there might be a 2 versus 1, but so far, Leo, it's not looking good for them. They've already lost 2 members, although there's already 2 eliminations for both of these teams. Basically, a 2-2 trade. And now we're in a standstill, trying to find the best way to approach this engagement. 1 versus 1 in this building,
Ooh,
and it seems
ooh,
that too easy
too
is too
easy.
easy. It's too easy for too easy. He's got the better gun, and now he's got the better kill, and that is a 3 people down from the side of Outrage Leo just by the hands of CNS.
And all of these teams with Leo, especially left with one member remaining. I think CNS Esports really took that personally, and with that, Leo were just left with one member. It's like, okay, you take one of us, we'll just take you down. We'll leave you with one member remaining, and it's just gonna be up to Naomi right here to try to eliminate them. And really goes in for a couple of sprays, takes Mamba down, but of course the other teammates from the side of CNS Esports are also trying to take them down, and he actually manages to get one of them, and it's gonna be a 2v1 situation right here, going for a couple of sprays right there, and one goes down once again, but that would be the end for Leo, still leaving too easy with the very low HP remaining, but still at least he got that member to be revived as well. But if you do look at the other cam right now, seems like there was also action happening, and we can sense a lot of tension, especially between these two teams with Shersha and Fen Returns, which Fen Returns we've actually seen them perform, and Shersha as well. So I'm wondering on how this will end.
And very uncharacteristic of an Erangel map. We're down to 55 players actually still standing, and we're only 6 minutes and 30 seconds into the game. Fan returns, Kyrie trying to get those sprays
Another
in.
one.
It will get some damage into the member
Ooh.
of DCM. DCM Sersha and down to Pro down on their side. Will they get that elimination? Will they get that finisher? It doesn't seem to be the case. Some damage coming in. One more shot, and that's an elimination on the side of Fen Returns now bagging five kills to their name, doing really well. But Sersha, they are fighting back, throwing some grenades. Fen takes a lot of damage, but hides behind the rock. Now, Fen Returns, they have to reset. They have to reset their location. Especially since DCM Sersha, they're trying for some grenades, but little did they know they're out of those utilities, and Society tried to get those sprays as well on the last 2 members, the other 2 members rather of DCM Sersha. And so it won't be fruitful, it won't come to any eliminations or kills just yet. And so for now, the last 2 players, if Fen returns, they have to find another angle to approach this engagement.
And with all of these teams, once again, Fen returns, you can still feel a lot of tension between these teams. But again, I'm wondering on how this will end, especially that they're kind of spending a lot of time for this. But though, seems like from the DCM Shersha, they're getting some damage because of the grenades. And with Fen returns, again, this is kind of a big time to spend for both of these teams to be that invested. They do have vehicles though they can just get out of there alive. But once again, I mean DCM Shersha, it's a bit good for them because they're kind of spread out. Is if I know if Fen returns will try to go into the charge as well, but it could be a disadvantage. It could be a disadvantage for Shersha if they get charged by Fen returns. They can just get eliminated that easy. But once again, I mean, for Shersha, they do have a bit of an advantage, especially talking about some of the members that they took. With compare that with Fen returns with 2 members remaining, with 2 members remaining, so that puts them as a bit of a disadvantage. So they have to move out of there, and they did really just trying to get sprayed right there from Shersha. But once again, they make it out alive. And for now, it's looking good for all of these teams. For now, 2MS Esports holds the number 1 spot. So with that in mind, you have to be very careful.
They have to be careful if they want to stay alive because they only have 2 players left standing in their roster. But that doesn't go the same for the other teams. A lot of these teams, they still have all 4 players in their squad still standing. And so, just taking a look at the leaderboards, Pen returns so far, they're doing really well in terms of eliminations. But that goes the same with Sersha and CNS as well. They both bagged for 4 points so far on kills. And of course, Leo is in trouble. It seems that they lost all of their members rather. I can just see that from the leaderboards, and they walk away with two eliminations to their name. But all the while, it seems that Fan lost one of their players. Jumbo got eliminated off, and so Saiti, the last person standing on their squad. What can you do? You're so out in the open, and there's so much potential for this pickoff. But he's lucky. He's lucky that nobody has a good shot on him, and all the while, Sersha is still at the distance. They have information that Saiti is somewhere out there, and just one more kill, just one more nail in the coffin, and they could send Fenritters completely out of the picture for this map. But so far, that's not the case just yet, Sersha. They don't have that clear shot. They don't have that good information just yet. So it'll be a waiting game for the part of DCM Sersha for now.
And with that on site right now, looking at them, so far so good for them. They do have that shelter, and there are still no teams around them, so it's gonna be a waiting game for them just yet. But it seems like a team right now is going straight into them. But they do have that advantage, especially that they don't really have information that a full squad is right there inside the house, so they have to be prepared for that. But if you do look at the Stellia right now, they're also at the edge of the island, just waiting for some heads to pop out, just waiting for bodies to start walking before they can go in for a couple of sprays. With the Shy right there, the bullets will not connect, however, still trying to get a little bit of damage, trying to chip away their health, but it seems like it won't do enough just yet.
Yes. And hopefully we can see some more damage coming in because now we're down to 52 players and 15 teams. Still 11 minutes into the game. So this is quite exciting. This is something that you'd usually in Sunhawk, but for now we're in Erangel. We're in Erangel, and this game is going quite fast. Both esports, all the while, they are in a bit of trouble. Ellen and NRS is surrounding their area, trying to get a good angle on them, and right now, it's not looking good for their squad. It's not looking good for the squad inside of this compound because Ellen and NRS, they're just looking for the right time to strike, looking for the good position to kind of put themselves in, maybe surround them on all sides, perhaps, or maybe just put in a good push, one good push from all of their members. But so far, it doesn't seem to be the case. Maybe they don't have the information that there's a squad inside that house. I really thought they did because they were circling around, but it seems that they will be disengaging whether or not they lack information whether there's a squad in there. It's something that we don't really know because we have the luxury as spectators, we have the luxury of knowing that they're there, but for NRS it's not as clear. And so they're coming back, actually they're going back. They have some information that there's TTS at the distance making a lot of noise. Shafu in his little vehicle on the high ground, quite far from the rest of his team. And so I'm a little bit nervous for Shafu over here. He doesn't have a lot of cover, and he's getting surrounded by NRS. So what will happen now? That is the question. Whether Shafu will get picked off or will Shafu find an elimination himself?
Indeed, and really at this point with Shafu trying to get the shots in, still it is not enough. TTS Esports, they do feel a bit of pressure, especially that they got the chicken dinner a while ago. But here with this one, with the Shafu gets killed right there from the side of NRS, and couple goes in for a couple of taps before he takes them down, but it seems like it wouldn't be enough. However, Shafu right here will chase them down while the rest of his teammates are also on the lookout, especially just trying to take down NRS right here. Is that now that they have that advantage to take them down. But really, for the side of TTS Esports, they do have that advantage now when talking about vehicles. They can travel in a lot of areas, especially when they're together. But for now, seems like Estella, Shy right here, spots a few of them, but will not commit to the gunfight.
Just crosshairs out, trying to find some information, trying to find some moving bodies to shoot at. But speaking of which, Cloud gets some sprays in, but it won't be. It will be actually resulting into one elimination on the side of Cloud. And now, there's another potential elimination nearby, but he's getting surrounded by the other members of his squad. So, all the while, dead on sight, almost dead on sight. one member needing that revive, and it looks like they might be able to get that revive in the bag, but all the while going back to TTS Esports. Two eliminations to their name. They have the crosshairs out trying to get a good shot on NRS, but they won't be finding that just yet. Some trigger discipline is needed on this part because they don't want to give their information away, but NRS is in quite a pickle. I don't really like their location here. They might get picked off sooner or later depending on the approach that TTS Esports will be using. But for now they're just repositioning NRS just behind this boulder, and with those smokes coming in, they might be trying to get another position in, but it's not looking good actually. It's not looking good for their side, and so we'll just have to wait and see what their plan is for now.
Exactly. With the side of NRS, they're kind of on a cliff right now, just waiting for other members to actually drop off as well. But it seems like they're in a cut. They're quite in a pickle right now. Now that TTS Esports are also trying to hunt them down, the grenade is already thrown by side of NRS. Lucid right here, just hoping to get the targets down. But once again, they're hidden behind the rock. TTS Esports. Oh, seems like one of them goes down with fall damage. But of course, they also fall down, trying to take them down, and it seems like their members from NRS are just being killed right away. Shafu will secure the kill right there with a grenade throw, ensuring that he goes down. And yes, indeed, he does. The rest of the team from TTS Esports are looking for the rest, especially that now NRS has been eliminated. And he goes into jump, a little bit of fall damage, no problem from TTS Esports. They can just get that back up again. But for now, we're down to the last 14 teams. 16 minutes into the game. It's kind of, again, a slow burn, but expected for a map like Aragon.
Yes. That's just 16 minutes in. And still, 48 players. That's quite a lot getting picked off quite early on before the late game. So, very excited to see how this late game will go. So far, just taking a look at the leaderboards. Some of these teams, I guess the most amount of kills would be between Sersha and Fen Returns, each with 5 eliminations to their name. But Fen, they only have one player left standing, and they're surviving well so far. They are surviving well so far, and so there's a potential that they would reach. This last member will reach the maybe top 5 and potentially get some placement points, but it'll be hard because it's gonna be a while, and they have to hide really well. They have to survive really well. But for now, Goat Esports versus UK. UK at a distance in their vehicles, trying to get some potential pickoffs. Will they be able to find Goat Esports? That is the question now, because it seems that they have some information. They are pushing towards where Goat Esports is, and all the while, speaking of the devil, Ven returns their last player standing. They're just kind of hiding over there, trying to see if they can get some kill steals in the bag. But all the while, BTS versus LHC off camera. That will be interesting. But for now, this is between UK and Goat Esports. One person down on the side of UK. Whether or not Phoenix can be revived, that's the question right now. But all eyes against Goat Esports, throwing in some grenades. Ace trying to get that damage in the bag. But will they find that elimination? It won't be the case just yet. Zero eliminations, but White from Goat Esports gets taken down. And that would be the first elimination on the side of UK. Now, will they find the second? That's the question now. UK, they have to reposition. They have to find another way to approach this, because Goat Esports, it seems that they are moving back, trying to get into this stretch right here. And so, this will this be the end of Goat Esports? Because there is several other squads. Although this might be 5 different squads. I don't know. There's so many things happening right now in this area.
Exactly, with JNS getting eliminated. And now we're down to the last 11 teams with Fen Returns right here out in the open. And they could be spotted, but again, they're just using the grass fields right now to their advantage, just trying to be covered while being surrounded by a lot of teams. This is just going to be hard for Fen Returns to make this one out alive, and goes in for a couple, maybe a couple of sprays, but he will not commit to that. And if you do look at the side of LHC right now, they're using the walls just for cover. He gets hit. Hisham gets hit. Left with low HP remaining, and the rest of Estella are also joining into the fight as they try to take them down. But once again, it's very, very low. Another Estella member right here who will try to take them down, but he gets taken down instead. Aish. That's gonna be an ice right there, and as he gets a remove, and that's gonna be an elimination for Estelia right there. And LHC will make it out here alive once again.
Yes, LHC. They walk away from the engagement. Well, that's about three players still standing on their part. But all the while, 2MS, they haven't had a lot of luck running into another engagement of their own. And they need those eliminations if they really want to keep their spot in the first place. Because so far, Fen returns, there's a potential that they could overtake 2MS. But it's not looking quite good because there's only one player left standing. But speaking of which, CNS gets completely eliminated from the picture. And right now, Goat Esports still quite alive with three people still standing on their side. But Ellen and Outlaws, they're joining the fray as well. But it's Bibu, the last person standing, needs to revive two of their players if they want to keep their three-man team. 2MS, however, already finds three eliminations to their name. Speaking of eliminated, United who gets wiped off the map all the while. Lots of things happening in this map right now. That circle is quite small and a lot of these players are outside that safe zone. That circle will close in. This is stage 6. Lots of things are gonna happen real quickly. DCM Sergio already 7 eliminations to their name. Dead on site might be dead sooner or later with only one person left that's still walking. And LHC trying to find those vehicle eliminations. Will he get those last hits? That's the question. Manko with their gun in hand, they could finish off some of these players from CPT. And will that happen? Manko takes a lot of damage, but he bags several eliminations as well. That will be 2 eliminations on the side of Manko. DOS dead on site. They were hanging by a thread last time we saw them, and so that is their complete wipeout in the map. And all the while, 2MS Esports finally getting 7 eliminations in just a blink of an eye. Very good performance, quite consistent. A little bit nervous in the early part of the game that they didn't get a lot of eliminations, but they did catch up. They did catch up, and now we are down to 5 teams left standing.
And now we're down to the last five teams, OTL and Fen returns, looking slim for both of them, especially they got one member remaining. Gold Esports is also going into the charge as well as they take down the last member for Fen returns, and that's gonna be an elimination from them from all these four teams. Usually we have this kind of routine with our friends right here, but it looks like the game is just slipping down as soon as possible. So I'm just gonna skip to that, especially now that they're down to the last two teams, LHG Esports and 2MS is battling it out once again. 2MS being the winner with their chicken dinner a while ago, and does look good for them, especially that, I mean, they do have one member down, but it seems like two members is down as well. It's just gonna be a 2v2 between these two teams, LHG Esports and 2MS, and now LHG just using the supply, the crate to cover them, to provide them shelter, and it does look a bit of a good chance here for LHG, especially that they have all members alive, and also for 2MS Esports just using the rock to their advantage. But again, very open space puts them out a little bit farther, especially the 2MS Esports takes one down from the side of LHC, and they're just really going in, maybe trying to reposition to try to take them down the different angles. Now that will provide a little bit of a hardship for LHC, and once again, Thugs right here going in for a couple of sprays in an open area off angle for the side of LHC, takes one down. This is gonna be the last up to the last member. That's gonna be Mango trying to take him down, going for a couple of sprays in through the vehicles, but it seems like he's just gonna be ended right here as the rest of the Gomez is just going in and take them down. It's just gonna be a winner chicken dinner for MS Esports.
Uncle had a good run, but in the end, UMS outnumbers him, and they bagged the chicken dinner. It might have been the second chicken dinner of this day. And now, overall ranking shooting up is 2MS Esports with 21 match points for this game and the total points of 65. With that, they probably put a lot of points in between them and the top two. And so, these are the individual team stats. Of course, we got Thugs with 3, Zeus with 3, Vaco with 4, and Lazy with 1 elimination to their name. But look at that damage coming in from the side of Vaco, 870. And of course, the rest of the team. They contributed quite a lot, with Thugs having 502 and Zeus having 361. Of course, Lazy 247, but I believe Lazy might have gotten picked off early on, and so that might be understandable. But this, of course, the match summary. 65 eliminations, of course, 63 knockouts, 9,146 total healings, 3 vehicle eliminations, 39 assists, and 3 grenade eliminations. Of course, pretty typical of an Arankle map, but still, it was quite entertaining, especially in the early game.
Especially with two as esports holding it together, and they were just really coordinated at finding the best angles to kill LHC and to take them down, which again led them to their second chicken dinner. Very, very impressive for 2MS esports, especially for Vaco. I mean, a while ago I've already been noticing his name on the top leaderboard, the top players, and it's usually at times like these where the efforts really pay off. And once again, top players goes to Vaco with being the first to be followed by LHC, three members from LHC, and to end that up, of course, with another member from Shersha. And I mean, on the side of 2MS Esports, Vaco is just really something, and I'm looking forward to this team. And it seems like 2MS Esports, they're trying. I think they're starting to get the hang of it now. So with that in mind, maybe we can see another winner chicken dinner from these teams. And once again, could be maybe another possibility for other teams to shine. But right now, 2MS Esports, I've mentioned this a while ago, and they are doing it right now. They are just widening the gap for other teams to even catch up to them.
And coming in second from 2MS is actually LHC with 16 total points, but the eliminations is at 10. That's great for the side of LHC. And coming in third, of course, TCM Sersha with 10 points coming in from this map. And GOAT, of course, the same as well with 10. Fan returns having 9, and all the while, these are the rest of your favorite teams. Some of these teams, they walk away with nothing for now, but for everyone else, there's still a lot of catching up to do, especially if these teams, they haven't made it to at least top 5 in order to secure a spot in the finals. And so, post match number 4, these are your standings so far. 2MS Esports managing to put 22 whole points gap away from Fen Returns. Fen Returns, they did a really good job in the first map, but now they are lagging behind just a little bit on the side of 2MS. 2MS, they do a really good job. But speaking of really good job, we can see Neon still at number 3, 39 points, only 4 points away from overtaking Fen Returns. They haven't gotten a single chicken dinner just yet, but they're having such a good, consistent play style that they still held their spot in the top at least 5. And so that's just crazy gameplay. That's just crazy performance. And hopefully we can see the same thing for the rest of these teams later on.
It's, I mean, all of these teams overall ranking still trying their best to catch up, but it does look a bit slim for some of these teams in the bottom half. Because there are uh, 8 more. Wait, are there 8? I think just a few more games really. For just to get into the to get qualified, and it's just gonna be hard from here on out, especially that we've seen 2MS Esports play, and they're not really going to give chance to all of these players, all of these teams. It seems like they've decided to stick with the rankings right now and just take the points, as much points as they can, so that the rest of the top half teams will keep their spot, and it's just gonna be up to them to move to the finals later on.
Yes, like really excited to see who among these teams will make it to the finals. And we're almost actually at the end of the day one, and so there's not a lot of chances for this group stage day one. Or rather the first group actually. To put a lot of points into the leaderboards in order to secure a spot for the finals. And so that concludes match number 4 with the victory of 2MS, the second chicken dinner on their part. And that will be the last match that we have in Erangel for today. Match number 5, the first Miramar map will be coming in really soon. But before we get to that, of course, we will be having a short break. And so, for those of you tuning in, don't go anywhere. We'll be seeing you in a few minutes. Once again, we are back to the Maldives Championship Contender Series Season 4, Group A Group Stage Day 1. And so we just witnessed match number 4. We are going into our first Miramar map, match number 5. Once again, we are your casters. My name is Annie, and tonight would be is Mike. Mike, what did you think about the matches, the 4 matches that just passed so far?
I mean, so far, 2MS Esports have really shown and really have brought their A game here, especially that they are almost at least at least more than 6 matches left for their group and before they finalize on which teams are just gonna move to the finals. Now, for the side of Erangel, it's clearly being dominated by 2MS Esports. But for the side of other teams, there's also starting to show their potential with Fen returns, with LHC. I mean, these are familiar names, and we now know that why they have been very very familiar because they also have their potential. They're the threats to be dealt with. And right now, as we move to the last 2 games for tonight, that's gonna be both Miramar maps once again. It looks like the map right here is really biased on the left side, which is kind of an unfortunate moment for these teams that are planning to land on the right places, like sample the Campo Militar or the El Azahar or Impala. I mean, it's kind of bit hard, but we'll still have to wait for the circle.
Yeah, and actually, Outrage Leon LHC, they're taking quite a risk going to the far northwestern side of the map, knowing that there's a possibility that the circle could go quite far from that area. But they're pretty lucky. They landed on the right side of the map. They landed on the left. Rather, that was a play on words actually. It's just towards the southwestern side of the map, and so they could rotate quite easily. But I won't say the same to the one of those teams that landed on the northeastern side, and so they'll have a bit of a trouble. But of course, it's easy to remedy that. Just grab a vehicle after looting the place up. So CNS Esports, I'm actually talking about them. They could just grab a vehicle later on after looting, and so they'll be good to go because it's still quite early on in the game. Speaking of early on, NRS finds the first engagement against Outrage Leons, gets one knockdown, but doesn't seem to be complete elimination just yet. And all the while, TTS also finds their own knock against JNS, and so 2 concurrent engagements happening somewhere out here in the map. NRS so far getting several knocks on their side, but they find their first elimination. They find the first blood of the game so far, going in to the side of Metus. I believe that is Metus his name.
Exactly. I think it's metas. but for
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean for all these teams, kind of a very unfortunate moment right here for Leons United. As 2 members already goes down, one is already gone for good. Another still could be revived, but he is also very in danger right now. But for the side of NRS, all goods for them. Again, just waiting to kill that few members, especially now that they've started their invasion. And really, it could start a moment right here for NRS, but it's still too early to say it. They have their chance right here, but yeah.
Lots of things happening actually. Zoro not looking very good for them. They need that revive, and at least Fool was there to save the day. But for the rest of LHC, they're inside. They're actually in several areas spread out. They might be going in for a split push, trying to approach Outrage Leo, and that might actually be a little bit more effective on their side. But for now, both teams, they're not engaging just yet until now. Fool seems that Fool has found themselves getting knocked down, but at least there was a member getting that revive on Mighty Sui versus another member of Leo. 1 versus 1 throws a utility, but gets caught inside this building. 2 versus 1. And what can you do, really, Naomi? What can you do in that situation? scaling down with nothing you can do, and that was a free elimination on the part of LHC. All the while, in some other part of the map, see United gets eliminated completely, the first team to get wiped out from this map.
Exactly, and for these teams right here with LHC trying to take them down, but while that was happening, an off-screen kill just happened right around the corner, and to be followed as well by another kill, and it's just the kills are just raining already here as early as 4 minutes into the game. It just we could be seeing a lot of an early engagements and maybe a fast end later on, but for now with Outrage Leo right here still trying their best. They're kind of a bit of a gap in terms of points, but here they're trying to fight it against LHC right here. I mean, the rest of the team from Outrage Leo is still very, very active. But while that was happening, TOS, they will be down and, they will be dead on the side once again. For now, LHC, with the last number remaining, he goes down, and it's just going to be an elimination of LHC from the side of Outrage Leo.
Mm, yeah, I like this Group A stage. These 18 teams are actually really out for blood. I like these guys. I like these guys a lot. And so, speaking of out for blood, seems TTS versus JNS. There's a possible elimination here. There's a possible engagement rather. JNS is getting bombarded by a utility just now, but it doesn't seem to be causing any damage just yet. And so, TTS versus JNS. They're both biding their time. They're both waiting for the right moment to strike. So far, JNS, they're not moving quite a bit. They're not engaging. All the while, TTS, I can feel it. I can feel that they're out for blood. They want something out of this engagement, but there's on both sides there's actually a lot of trigger discipline going on. They don't want to give away too much information to their opponent, and so they're just waiting. They're just waiting for a good peek, a good mistake. And speaking of which, grenades coming in, JNS taking some damage, Joker already less than half of health, and so one more good grenade throw. One more good grenade throw from the side of TTS. There might be a potential knockoff on the side of JNS.
And with now TTS Esports also spots that enemy, just really hoping that the head will just connect to that crosshair. But of course, they're also being very careful as to not get hit. But for now, with TTS Esports, they're playing it very patiently right here. Though I mean, the vest it's still level 1, so it's gonna be hard later on if they're gonna keep this up. But I think they're gonna play for kills right here. If they do get some kills, they can just loot them up. But once again, I mean, they do the TTS Esports. They do have an advantage right here. Some of the members have that higher ground advantage, but for them, I mean, they're still trying to be vigilant, especially that the team here, they know the team for JNS Esports, they're at the house, they're at the shelter, so they're kind of covered, but they do have some information already on where they're hiding. So just a matter of time, really, for TTS Esports to start storming their base, or for JNS Esports to fight back.
Yes, and they gotta fight back if they want some eliminations on their side. And so time is running out, and it seems that TTS finds a shot on a member of JNS, and so this engagement is moving. It's moving quite a bit. But speaking of moving, seems that TTS will be pushing in to the building of JNS. They will be pushing in, trying to get this engagement to get it going. Okay, three-man push. Joker is in trouble. And what can you do if you're on the
Ooh.
side of Joker? Just three people coming at you,
Oh.
but Joker completely gets wiped out with that knife kill. And so TTS, all four people standing on their side and two knocked on the side of JNS. They have to hunt down the last member, this Shy right here. They only have to hunt down Shy, and then they can completely wipe off JNS from the map. And so, taking a look at their stats, it seems that Reaper is also down on the side of JNS, and Stitch is quite low on health. And so, Shitey is the last hope for JNS. Now he's just got to stay alive and try not to get picked off by TTS if he wants to at least get a chance to maybe get some eliminations in the future, or potentially get into the top 5 and get some placement points. But it's not looking good. It's not looking good. It seems that Shafu is quite nearby. Whether or not they'll find Shitey, spots Shitey. That's something we'll see later on. But for now, Shitey is out of the woods. He's still quite safe here. They don't have information on where Shitey is. So it might be changing right now. Two-man push inside the building where Shitey is. But they walk past him completely. Oh
Oh,
no, there's
no,
a
no,
one
no, no.
versus one. Chinese in trouble, and that is
Mm.
the end for
He goes down.
JNS in the staircase by the hands of TTS Esports.
And yeah, as I said a while ago, it's just a matter of time before TTS Esports. I know TTS Esports, they are really gonna storm, especially if they're looking at that area. You know for a fact that they're just gonna storm that place. You have to be prepared. And with that, really marked the end for JNS Esports. As TTS Esports, they have managed to rack a few kills once again for their team and could be trying their best to climb up the scoreboard. But for now, we're gonna look at the side of UK. So far, so good for them. And at least they're kind of just looking for areas to stay, to camp later on, especially on a higher ground, so that they can get a few kills.
And that's the plan. You gotta get some kills in the bag if you really want to boost your way up the leaderboards. Because each elimination, that's 1 point. And although you could go for some placement points, still, it can't hurt, to get at least a few kills before moving into the late game. So that's the plan for these teams. And Neon, so far, they haven't found their eliminations just yet. They haven't run into anyone. But all the while, NRS versus Trillia, somewhere in the distance, something's happening. NRS has all of the members still standing, and Trillia is not looking very good. They're getting shot at from a distance. High ground. Trillia, I don't think they can get anything because although NRS, they're quite up in the open, still, it's the same thing for Trillia. They're out in the open on the lower ground as well, but they get away in a getaway car, and they're getting away. They're trying to reset, trying to find a better location because it's not looking good for them. They already lost two of their players, and they're going low on health just a bit. But Luca's trying to fight back, and he gets a knock on one member of NRS, and so that's a good start for their side. But how long can they hold out? How long can they hold out in this position?
And now for the side of NRS, so far so good. I mean, all the teams a while ago, it was a lot of bloodshed, and with that, it also comes with a lot of calm. The storm came, and then the calm is now here. All of these teams, nothing's happening. It's still 12 minutes into the game, still 13 teams alive, but it seems like it's just gonna be a one member down, especially that they have now started gunning them down, and that leaves actually Shersha with two members alive. Now they're still being hunted right here, and it seems like they broke already the door, trying to get them down. The grenade is also being targeted inside the house, but Serve right here, along with the other members of Shersha, just really trying their best to make it out here alive, especially that they're in a disadvantage right here. We're talking about the numbers. Two members are left, but of course, he will take one down, just trying their best to fight back. The rest of the teammates, the rest of their enemies, however, are still trying to make it out alive as well, with two members already down from the side, really of their enemies. And now, it seems like it's looking good right here for the side of Shersha, especially that they can already fight back now that they've evened out the members from their team. And with that grenade goes boom, Outlaws makes it out alive, just trying to look for an opening right here. Could be caught off guard right there. Bibu, who was just looking at the wrong angle at the wrong time, and that would mark the end for OTL.
And that is goodbye to several teams actually already in this map. 13 minutes in. And once again, I'm saying I like this group. I like this group. They're so into these early game engagements. I really thought in Sandhawk they didn't like those kinds of things. They didn't like getting aggressive because that Sandhawk game went really slowly until like the late game. But now in Miramar and Erangel, you're supposed to be quite slow games, but now they're down to 12 teams and 41 players is still standing. And speaking of still standing, 2MS right here with only one elimination to their name. I got quite nervous for their side in the previous game because it was already late game and they only had so little kills, but they pulled through and got so many eliminations to their name towards the last few minutes of the game. So that's what I'm hoping for 2MS right now. Although I'm still a little bit nervous that they won't find eliminations in time and kind of bag those points. What's Trillia doing? But anyways, back to my point. But anyways, 2MS, I'm confident that they'll find the elimination sooner or later because so far doing quite well. They have so many points in gap away from the number two against Fen Returns, and so I'm confident that they'll have a consistent performance and eventually, maybe land a spot in the finals later on.
And with TTS Esports, once again, they could be going in for another hunt right here. They're just crossing this through the next island. It's still 15 minutes into the game. So far, so good once again for all these teams. 12 teams remain, and could be. We're gonna see a lot of slow burn, but for now, seems like a grenade kill was happening off screen, and could be a member down and just waiting for that confirmation kill right there. And Neon now rushing straight into it, just confirming that kill from the side of NRS, and just gonna be a great elimination as well. From the side of Neon, all of the members are also forming together. Really, I mean, they're actually separated, but the good thing is that they're starting to circle the members inside that house, and they're just trying to take them down. And it seems like they're confident with it, which is good. But looking at the top one right now, 2MS Esports seems like they're gonna storm through this warehouse right now. A couple of sprays from there takes down one member from the side of CNS Esports, and Too Easy right here tries to move away from them, just trying to look for a better position, better angle to fight them off. But once again, he's getting sprayed through that car, and he's just trying to himself to dodge all the bullets, but he goes down. It's gonna be an elimination for the side of CNS Esports.
No, 2MS, they have four eliminations to their name. That goes the same with TTS Esports as well, but TTS trying to get more of those eliminations in the bag, and so far they got a good look at Leo over here. Maito going down from that grenade, loses so much health, needs that revive from their last member standing. But will they get that revive that they need? It doesn't seem to look so good on the side of Outreach. Leo now TTS Esports storming into the building and trying to get the last kill in the bag, but so far you won't find anything inside this building because the last member of Outreach, Leo, is all the way over there in their northeastern position. But all the while TTS are trying to get a good position in, trying to get some sprays on to their northwestern side, another squad nearby. But for now, they'll be resetting. They already have 6 kills in the bag, and so they're looking quite good. It's looking quite good for their side. They're doing quite well. But whether or not we'll spot the last person standing on the side of Outrage Leo, that's something we'll see later on. And for now, they have to worry about the squad that is shooting at them from a distance.
And with that, really from the distance right here, TTS Esports, it could be another potential hunt for their team, especially that they got 6 eliminations. They're trying their best to rack a few more kills with Neon right here. Could be stuck. It's actually against Neon and TTS Esports right here. The shot's trying to connect, but only left with a few damage right there. Yonko, however, still tries to fight back despite all that, and with that, I mean, he does have a good scope. That's good. But you're also Yonko is also fighting a lot of the members for the side of TTS Esports. Very, very spread out. So as long as he's gonna peak, another exposed angle is just gonna hit them. And it's a matter of time before TTS Esports will take them down.
Yes, Yongo trying to get those sprays in, but it won't be hitting TTS the way it wants them to. And so TTS, they will be resetting, they will be changing their location, their positioning right now because it's not looking good for their side. They are getting shot at, but at least they don't go down just yet. TTS Esports, however, still not looking not looking like they have any more additional eliminations since the last time they saw them. They're still trying to get those kills on the side of Neon on the distance, but so far they can't find that opening just yet. Shafu, however, is quite far from the rest of their team. They're trying to get um them into position, try to snipe some moving targets around, but so far they won't be finding that. Although in this area right here, we can see potentially three different teams. EST getting bombarded by grenades from two different angles. Scythe trying to get some in the bag as well, trying to get that damage, but so far it won't be resulting into any knocks. So the while EST, they're moving in, they're pushing into the area where Fen Returns is, and Fen Returns, they will be trapped inside this building. And so not a good look for them. They already lost two of their players in the roster, but all the while they rack up four eliminations. And so this is a matter of time. It's just a matter of time before Fen Returns, they get wiped off, because so far the binary numbers get shot at, and now Scythe is the last person standing. It's not looking good in terms of numbers and in terms of positioning. There's a possibility that friend returns will be wiped out, but so far it's not gonna happen just yet. EST, they don't have the information that they need to hunt down Scythe. But once this grenade gets thrown, it might be a different case now. But Scythe tries to get those sprays and almost gets one player down from EST, but it won't result into a knock just yet. Scythe is in trouble. He gave away his location, and so he'll be resetting. And with that, grenade in hand, one last person, the last hope of their team, against Estella, take some damage from that grenade. And what will be the fate of Scythe is something we'll find out later on.
Now, if you do look at it, 7 teams remaining, 20 minutes. It's kind of a bit of a stretch here, for all of these teams. At least though, it's a bit faster at this point. But for now, back into the game, 2MS Lazy right here could actually spot the shot, trying to connect, leaves with low HP. The rest of his teammates are also trying to fight back here. And while that was happening, gets eliminated, but also UK was just chasing them down, and just gonna be an elimination for 2MS Esports. But also they were also getting eliminated right here with a few members again from the side of UK. The last member here, it's just gonna be up to Jano right here to actually fight back, and he does actually land a few bullets with 5 teams remaining here. Again, Neon, UK, Fen Returns, Gold, and TTS Esports. And it seems like right here, UK, last member remaining with very low in health, and he just goes down from the hands of TTS Esports. And really, we're down to the last 4 teams. It does look a bit of slim right here for Fen. But for again, I've mentioned this a while ago. We do have this a bit of tradition with our friends. With these 4 teams, we actually call them a bit of a team names. For TTS Esports, they're trying to fight back. With TDS being the screen right here that they're leading the charge, and with Fan, they're also being the ring right here. Again, with one member remaining, that's just gonna be a bit of a hard challenge right here. For Goat, they do have 2 members alive, which is we do call them the Fan, but from the Goat as well. From the Neon, which was eliminated, we call them the King. All of these 4 teams, from the to the ring to the Fan to the King. All of these making it out alive, and Gold being eliminated, just ending the match right here for TTS Esports to claim another winner chicken.
Again, TTS Esports finds their place as the winner chicken dinner for this match number 5. Of course, overall rank of number 3, that is to be expected with 23 match points coming in from this game, and with a total damage of 2,409 and total eliminations of 13. And just taking a look at the individual stats, lots of contribution coming in from Aku with 754 damage and 5 full eliminations. All the while, Cloud over here actually with 531 damage and unfortunately just 2 eliminations from that. Still a lot of contributions in terms of damage, but speaking of damage, take a look at Shafu with 862 and only 4 eliminations. That's crazy amount of numbers coming into their side. Bit unfair on the side of Shafu. He probably didn't get the last hit, and therefore not a lot of eliminations to their name. But speaking of not a lot of eliminations, that's 0 vehicle eliminations. That's quite disappointing on my part. I do love those isekais, but for now, this is day one, match number 5, the match summary, and you can see that on the screen. Coming in next is the comparison between TTS and Fen. Taking a look at the damage, TTS has more than 1,000 more compared to Fen, and of course more knocks as well. Eliminations of 5 more on the side of TTS. And of course, still, the MVP, however, goes to Fen Returns, 6 eliminations and damage of 760. That would be Scythe.
Mm-hmm. And with Fen, they also got the chicken dinner a while ago, and it seems like Fen returns. They're not gonna give that up just yet. They have one more match, and they're just gonna make this count. Especially that after all these matches today, you're just gonna be left with the last 6 matches, which will really matter on day number 2, because that's just gonna be the judgment day for all of these teams on the deciding really on which teams will go to the finals. Now, if you do look at the match rankings for this game, TTS Esports leads with 33 points, being the winner chicken dinner a while ago. Fen returns to be followed with 14 points, being the second placer, to be followed by Goat with 11, and Sersha with 8 points. The rest back to the 7 points and below. Still a good good play for them, but we are now heading on to match number 6, which is just gonna be the half the sixth match out of the 12 matches that you will see. But once again, it's just gonna be hard for some of these teams, especially in the bottom half, to try their best to even reach. I mean, if you do look at it, 2MS Esports leads with 72 points, to be followed that with Fen Returns and TTS Esports with 57 and 53 points respectively. And now Neon will follow that as well with 44 points. Then the rest follow with 39 points and below for all of these teams. And for Neon, I mean for LHC and for Goat Esports, they do have the chance to fight back, especially for those that are below them. But it's just gonna be a challenge from here on out, because I think these four teams are already gatekeeping these scores away from them.
Already so early on into this day one, we can see that there might be, we could see the possible top 5 that would make it into the
Mm-hmm.
finals. So this is quite exciting actually, especially for 2MS. They managed to secure number 1, and although there's only 15 points away from the number 2, Fan Returns could possibly still overtake, especially if they have one really good game and 2MS falls off in the early game. That really depends on, there's a bit of luck in the side of PUBGM, and so we're just crossing your fingers and just trying to see what would happen. But also that all depends on the eventual performances of these teams, especially getting those eliminations and surviving all the way to the placement points in the top 5. And so it's just really exciting. There's a lot of things that can happen. Still, we are halfway into this group stage, and so we might be seeing like clear winners. But on the other hand, there's still a chance for some of these teams, especially those maybe in the top 4 below. There's still a chance that they could secure a spot in the top teams of this group stage and eventually find their way into the finals. And so, speaking of which, group stage day number 1, this is the match schedule. We just witnessed match number 5, Miramar going in to the second winner chicken dinner of TTS Esports with a total points of 23. The same as their match number 3, actually. That's quite interesting. But yes, this is the first Miramar map. We will be moving on to the second Miramar map later on, and that would be in match number 6. But for now, of course, we will still be taking a short break. And so, for those of you tuning in to the live stream, don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a few minutes.
What's up, everyone? We are back once again here with the match number six, the last match for today. Now, it's the day one, and it's just gonna be. We'll proceed this tomorrow with day number two, the judgment day for the group one, and really just gonna decide who moves up to the finals. Once again, we are shoutcasters for tonight. I'm Mike, and with me is Annie. Now, Annie, what's up?
Actually, it's quite fun to watch this group stage because once again we're still at the more or less like the eliminations, the qualifiers for the finals, but still we've seen such exciting plays, especially for the top teams, so for the likes of 2MS, Fen Returns, and as well as Neon and LHC as well. Actually, these teams they're just quite consistent with their playstyle. It's just so exciting to see who will make it to the finals. But we're back to Miramar, actually, the last match for today, the last chance for today for these 18 teams to place somewhere, put their names somewhere there in the leaderboards. And for now, the flight path is a bit funny, actually, going in from Portonas all the way up to Campo Militar. A very interesting line and super biased towards the southeastern part of Miramar. And so, although Los Leones is very accessible still, if there's any team that would risk going to Campo Militar, especially with the possibility that the circle would probably go to El Pozo if this game is trying to be funny, that's something we'll see later on. But for now, we can see a lot of these teams, of course, going into the safe side, going into the western part of the flight path. But still, some of these teams, they're risking it towards Puerto Paraiso. And for the likes of LHC and Fan Esports, of course, they might run into each other soon. But hopefully, we can see some early engagement soon enough.
And with all of these teams, once again, it's just gonna be a bit of a challenge, a good way to end. For me personally, it's just a good way to end the day with a match like this. The circle not being in favor of most of the teams, while the flight path was also being away from that circle. And once again, it's a good way to end this day with this kind of match, but it seems like we are now getting a lot of early engagements, and really for the side of JNS trying to fight back once again here, seems like a bit of a advantage for Shersha, though they're really out in the open. So they just really have not get hit right there before so that they can survive. But for the rest of the teams right here, all is good for them.
Yes, definitely not looking good, however, for JNS already losing two of their players in the lineup. So, with that much of a numbers disadvantage, not even 3 minutes into the game, it's not looking good for their side. But on the other hand, for the team, Sersha, DCM Sersha, they bagged two eliminations from that early game engagement. And so it's looking good for them. It's looking good for them, definitely. And it looks like they might be going in for a potential. Actually, no, that's definitely not the case. They're still looting. It's still early on in the game. Tupro over here doesn't even have that much ammo on their side. So they have to think about this clearly. They have to weigh their risk. They have to loot first. They have to get resources before going aggressive. But speaking of which, UK versus TTS Esports in this compound. TTS is a bit scattered out, and it might be a good position for them to try to push towards where UK is standing and to where UK is getting positioned. And so, two teams still on a standoff. Not much gunfire being shot just yet. Lots of trigger discipline, but it won't be long before something will be happening here in this place.
And with these teams at this point, it's just gonna be a slow burn, especially that now match six is the last match of the day. They're just playing it safely here, though you can still manage to get a lot of kill points from that, also from placement points. But for now, they will try their best to play it safely. It's they want to end this in a good note, but for now here, TTS gets another kill from the side of UK, and really at this point, once again, just trying their best to play it safely. I think it can be a good way to end this day with that kind of mindset. But the map, the flight path, the circle, it was just really against you, and it's just trying to clump all players in a limited area, which will see them in a bit of an early and later on.
Yeah, and hopefully we can see it happening later on. But speaking of which, Age goes
Jeez.
down. We need a 2 versus 1. That's one down on the side of UK, and still TTS. They're out for a while. Phoenix is behind this door, behind this wall rather. And Smokey trying to push in. But
Mm.
on the other hand, another player from
Mm.
UK gets Smokey down. Cloud, however, gets a revenge kill. 1-for-1 trade so far, but TTS Smokey, two people needing that revive on the side of TTS make that one because Xiaofu goes down as well. Now Cloud's the last person standing on their side. Cloud gets that revive on Smokey, however, and so they might be up with two players standing on their team. But all the while, UK, they need to revive one of their players as well. And they already lost two players on their side. So it's a little bit equalized between these two teams, UK and TTS. They're on equal footing, more or less. And so after these revives, after resetting just a bit, we can see that TTS is going in for the move on. They're trying to push to where UK is positioned. And so this is quite exciting. 2 versus 2 inside this building, and Cloud is going really aggressively, trying to push in the area where UK is. But it seems that they've disengaged. They're going away from this area where UK is positioned. So, with that, it might be a little bit quiet on their side. We might not be seeing some engagement so far.
And with the side of UK, two members alive, it's just gonna be hard from here on out from their side, really, from their team. And really, it's a bit of a sad note here if they can't pull this off later on. Um their best course of action right here is just tread lightly and focus on placement points. They can be a nuisance to other teams, but once again, I think that's just gonna be a safe play, especially for match number 6, which would end the matches for today. I mean, if you do for UK, I mean, the danger zone is in them, but they have to move out, but they still have to be wary of enemies, and especially with two members remaining, that's just gonna be hard from here on out. That's just been my point. But for all of these teams, it does look good for the side of TTS. It does look a bit of a disadvantage, especially that they got two members remaining. But for the side of the first placer right now, the DMS Esports is looking good for it.
Speaking of looking good, 2MS all in one vehicle, it's not looking good. But at least there aren't any other squads nearby because just the one good shot and they could potentially all get knocked out from just being in one car. Three players just in one car. It's quite a huge risk, especially they could potentially run into maybe LHC or GOAT later on trying to get into that circle. But eventually, that circle is gonna close into around Pecado, probably El Pozo. Okay, there we go. We can see where the next circle will be. That would be the Ladrillera or Montenueva, perhaps. And so there's a lot of open fields, but there's still some buildings. Speaking of buildings, Estella finds their own engagement as well. Lots down on the side of their opponent. And so Estella, they're racking up those eliminations. So far, there's only one, but one of their members are quite low on health. But they get that healing in the bag. It's so quite exciting. They just need the last nail in the coffin, and that is the case. Ayu gets that second elimination to their name. Shy getting their first, and now that's a total of 3 eliminations on the side of Estella. And greatly enough, they still have all 4 members of their team standing. All the while, Neon over here giving the chase to Trillia on this other side of this barricade of this wall. So grenades coming in, trying to get some
Ooh, there
damage
we
in the
go.
bag, and Luth goes down by the hands of Yonko, but still it's not over. Neon also gets a 1 in the bag. That is a 4 eliminations on the side of Neon, and that completely eliminates Trillia from this map.
And with that, Trillia leaving this game, leaving for today, while they still have a chance to fight back tomorrow. But for now, looking slim for this team, for Trillia. and really other teams as well that will be that will be eliminated later on. But for the rest of these teams, they do have a chance, especially with 2MS. Though one member from their team has been down, just waiting for their other teammates to revive him. But it seems like they're caught in a pickle right here, trying to fight them. But while that was happening, from someone from off screen, the side of TTS Esports was taken down, and now back into the action right here for 2MS Esports. They're trying to fight back here. They have their higher ground advantage and just gunning it down to try to fight back. One member is still down for this side, trying to revive them before they full out. But they have to clear them off before they start to revive and go for a reposition.
It's quite exciting to watch actually. To a mess, they find some eliminations in the bag, but all the while Fen returns. It goes the same for them as well. Actually, what's happening to TTS? Smokey's the last person standing on their team, and they only have 3 eliminations so far. So this map, it isn't going so well for their side, but still TTS, they still have some chance of making it into the late game as long as Smokey plays their part, plays their cards really well. So going into that card, it seems that would be the case. Trying to reposition themselves, try to just kind of play it safe, and that's the best thing that they can do for their team right now. That goes the same with Poison as well. Last person standing on on the side of JNS, and so all they can really do is stay alive for your team. Maybe steal some eliminations, maybe get some eliminations on their own. But since they have the numbers disadvantage, it's really the best course of action to just kind of play it safe. Keep yourself alive and try to make it into the late game. Try to get some placement points eventually.
And with that, at this point, for the side of the CNS Esports, they're at least being grouped, especially with the vehicles. The danger zone, it will not hurt for now, but the potential threat right here is being caught by other teams, and which could actually end their journey right here for match number 6. But yeah, for now, it's all good for them. One team has been eliminated. We're still 11 minutes into the game. We might be seeing a lot of engagements later on as the circles.
Yeah, and hopefully we can see some eliminations soon enough because so far 11 minutes into the game, almost 12, we can see 48 players standing and 16 teams is still left in the game. Estella, however, trying to make that one less team, shooting at Leon's United, but Stella, they're trying to reposition. They do have those vehicles. They're trying to get a good angle on the side of Leon's. But Leons, they also have their own plan, but it seems that it's not looking quite good. Haiti gets eliminated from the picture by the hands of Estella. And so far, Estella, they have all 4 members still left standing. They're pushing in. They're pushing into the position of Leon. But Leon is actually doing quite
Ooh,
good for their side, but Gumbo goes down. And Sage takes a lot of
Sage.
damage, gets knocked down, and completely gets confirmed in that elimination by Smile. And so, one more. Smile has their eyes on one more member of Estella. That would be Aish behind that wall. Will he take damage? It won't be the case for now, but Aish fights back as well. Trying to get those smokes up. Trying to get some eliminations. Grenade coming in, but it won't be resulting into damage just yet. And so these two teams, they're waiting it out. Gumbo needs that revive. Although they still have a chance of surviving, still they have to worry about Estella just lunging around in the other side of this wall. And so grenades coming in, Shy taking some damage, but it won't result into just any knocks just yet.
Aish actually being left with low HP. He has to use that medkit to fully heal himself back up. Shy getting hit once again, trying to heal himself up with a bandages, and it's just gonna really cost them a lot of health packs from here on out. Lions United trying their best to also look for a better way to take them down, looking for a better angle, and just really trying to catch them off guard. But for the rest of the team, so far so good. They will go for an engagement right here. They have no choice, especially that all the teams they already informed on their locations. But for now, in the second cam right here, where we can actually see some tension. But back to the game right here, Shy gets a down right there with his grenade. and now just waiting to confirm that kill, looking for the other members of the team before they can confirm that kill. But he goes down instead. But while that was happening, Shersha will go down as the 16th team. The rest of the team right now, Estelia just really trying to maneuver around this, trying to help their teammates. But it seems like it's just gonna be a faint a chance right here for others, especially that Estelia also gets it down right there. United, they will become United as they go down 15th team for this match.
Mhm. Looks great, looking great for Stella, especially. They had 7 eliminations already to their name. All the while, 2MS here, they find 3. They found the 3 eliminations so far. Right now, NRS seems that they might be in some trouble. They got spotted by some members of another squad. That might be fan returns. Would that be right? That might be LHC actually. But anyways, whoever that squad is, they probably have spotted NRS and they're trying to cook up some plan to try to push into the area, try to get those eliminations in the bag. But it's not happening just yet. They're playing their cards right. They're trying to bide their time, trying to get that trigger discipline in the bag, because they gotta do something right. They gotta find the best way to approach this. But so far, everyone else, lots of teams, about maybe half the players still standing in this map, they have to rotate into the circle. And so there's some potential gatekeeps, especially over here. Fed returns towards 2MS or maybe TTS Smokey. Although TTS Smokey is the last person standing in that point. Still, hopefully we can see some engagement. And that circle, it's closing into the eastern side of Monte Nuevo. There's only so little people positioned already in favor of that. But all the while, JNS finds one of their players down. It seems that that will be the end for JNS for now.
And exactly a while ago, I was talking about it's just gonna be a slow burn. Right now, we can see a lot of engagement, especially that most of these teams are outside the circle. I think we can only see a few of the teams that are inside the circle and safe. But still, even despite that, they are near a lot of teams that are just ready to gun them down if they see each other. And really, 2MS Esports, they could be caught right here by another team, or maybe they can actually win that. But for the rest of 2MS, I think they're going to reposition, especially that the circle is still quite big. For all of them, they're just really going to reposition right here, making sure that they won't get into a crossfire anytime soon.
Yeah, and hopefully that happens. And that doesn't happen because that would be the best thing that would happen for these teams. They don't get picked off and they get the eliminations that they need. Just taking a look at the leaderboards, 2MS still doing quite well. It doesn't seem that they will be overtaken by fan returns anytime soon, but two, it's quite early to tell in this Miramar map. And LHC, all the while, Mighty Sir taking so much damage, eventually gets knocked down by the side of LH, by the side of another squad nearby. There's actually 2 squads coming in with the crossfire, all targeting LHC. It's not a good look for them because they're basically the scapegoat in this situation. But Estella, they are rotating into the hot place, the hot spot of this map, and are at the distance, and potentially this could be an engagement between these
Okay.
two teams. But all the while, UK gets picked off cam. Estella, however, they're already in position. LHC, Mighty Sui still in trouble, but not dead just yet. It's not over just yet, and he gets revived. Just needs some healing in the bag. D-Was, however, is out in the open. A little bit nervous for them, but they still manage to survive. And off cam, we see Smokey gets eliminated. That should be the end of TTS, and so we're down to 11 teams left standing, and that is 37 players left remaining alive.
And with the side of LHC still trying to fight back here, just really attracting a lot of attention, trying to get that vehicle down, just to really distract them and to provide some cover before they can go for reposition. But for now, Estelia goes into the fray, into the house, catches, of course, NRS, but he will go down. That's gonna be an end for Estelia right there, as NRS was able to take them down, put an end to it, really. And now we're down to the last 10 teams. And for speaking about it, 2MS. it's looking kind of slim, especially that they got one member alive and one member still need some reviving. But of course, that would be too late as now they are left with one member getting dead on side, trying to fight here against CNS Esports. A lot of grenades just being thrown at, and it seems like he's just getting raided right here as he goes down, and there's gonna be an elimination right there for CNS.
Dead on sight finds Mamba dead on sight as well. That is the end for CNS for now. But to MS. They're down to one member. Vaco, the last person standing, probably heard dead on sight from a distance, and whether or not he would risk trying to get some eliminations, especially with this numbers disadvantage, it seems quite unlikely that the last person standing on their side of the team will do anything but. Although Wildfan returns is a different story for them since they still have the numbers advantage. All four players still left standing in their roster. Who's trying to get those sprays in? Actually get some damage on dead on site. Will this be a dead on site for their part? Doesn't seem the case just yet. Still no elimination. Still not resulting into any deaths on their part. And so Fush has given away their location when they try to relocate. So there might be a good chance for Fen Returns to get some eliminations in their bag. Still, NRS is still at a distance. All four members still standing, trying to get those sprays in, especially with Tazo taking so much damage from two sides. NRS, one on their right and one in front of them. So not a good look for Taza. Matus just needs one good grenade, and that would be the end for their squad. This is not looking good for Fen. Pushing in, Matus trying to get in, gets another one, and there's only one last player left standing. That'll be Fush. And he loses that one versus one, and that should be the complete wipeout for the side of Fen Returns by the hands of Matus.
And with Fen Returns goes down, goes also with the four teams remaining. NRS, Neon, Goat, and OTL. Once again, Neon here trying to secure their spot, garnering a lot of points while they were holding number four spot a while ago. For now, the chances are slim right here for OTL with zero eliminations. But still, with the last member standing, could be a nuisance right here for both of these teams that are trying to garner a lot of points, especially for NRS and Neon. And also, you gotta take a look at the code with zero eliminations and two members alive. But it seems like they're just being gunned down and eliminated right there for Neon. And really, at this point, down to the last three teams: OTL, Neon, and NRS. With OTL, the last number standing right here, and it's just gonna be up to Neon and NRS if they manage to take OTL down.
Not looking good for OTL actually. They managed to hold out to the top three, and so that's a lot of placement points. Speaking of which, Matus goes down, gets knocked, but NRS, however, getting those crosshairs out, trying to get some bullets, some damage in.
Another
Maybe
one.
finding that just yet. NRS gets those shots, loses a one member on their side, but Neon over here. Neon, they are the last versus that going against NRS one versus
Another one.
one. Seems that'll be the victory for the side of Neon. Now, one for one trade, one knock, but in just a blink of an eye, that would be the victory on the side of NRS, and that would be the final winner chicken dinner for tonight for this group stage day one with an overall ranking of something that we'll find out later on. Match points of 22 and total points of 43, total eliminations of 12. This is, ladies and gentlemen, LNN Light Raiders, the winner chicken dinner for this final map.
Exactly. Being Night Raiders being the last winner chicken dinner for today's match, it really just also puts them in a target mark for all of the teams to be aware of. Night Raiders, they have the potential. The other teams as well that have been getting winner chicken dinners, they have also the potential, and they have become the danger, the threat to all of these teams. And with that, for match number 6, the summary is just really 61 eliminations, 66 knockouts, a total healings of almost 10,000. That's amazing. And also with great eliminations of 6 and assists of 33.
So those are match summary for this last match of day number one of the group stage. And so this is the comparison between NRS and Neon. Looking at the damage, of course, NRS just dealt a little bit more, and Nox just slightly a bit more than Neon. But eliminations, there's four more on the side of NRS compared to Neon, and of course, the survivability time is just a few seconds away. And of course, the total points, however, is a huge jump. And so the MVP of tonight tonight's match number six rather goes to NRS's Matus, and that's to be expected. They actually wiped out Fen Returns all by themselves, just sweeping in, spraying, and getting all four other members down. That's just crazy performance, and that would be five eliminations to his name alone and damage of 729. That's great contribution going into their team. And of course, two assists, four knockouts, and heals of 239, and of course the survival time of 19 minutes and 49 seconds. And for the rest of the players, of course, coming in numbers 2 would be Vako from 2MS, number 3 with Yonko, number 4 with sorry, I can't read that, but that's a player from Neon, and number 5 is Stella's Shy. For the last four to for number 4 and number 5, they have 3 eliminations each. Yonko and Vako having 4 eliminations to their name as well.
And speaking of this, with the top players, it shows that the match number six was kind of equally divided amongst the players on terms of kills. But in this game, it also tells that the teamwork matters more here rather than just individual kills. And if you do look at the match rankings, NRS leading once again with 22 points, ending, of course, in the spot of actually they were they are now in the number fifth spot, which is also a very very big step for them. Especially a while ago that I've pointed out that they have to catch up, and seems like they did, and they're now challenging TTS Esports into the number fourth spot. Neon as also climbs to the number three. Fen returns again in the second spot right here, and 2MS will end today's matches with 77 points, holding the number one spot.
2MS Esports actually has 12-point gap against Fen Returns coming in the second spot. But still, a lot of these places, a lot of these rankings, still quite volatile. Especially 3 and 4, there's only 2 points away. And maybe if Fen Returns has a really good game and 2MS has a bad game, it's possible that Fen Returns could eventually overtake 2MS. And so a lot of things can happen, especially that there are still six more maps to go in this group stage. And of course, we'll see that tomorrow. And of course, we've witnessed six matches, six maps today. And so we have kind of a good idea how these teams basically kind of perform. We have a good idea on that, and we have a good idea on who to place our bets in, especially on the teams that have such a consistent playstyle, a consistent performance all throughout the whole day, all throughout all six maps. And so, for y'all fans in the live stream, of course, don't forget to support your teams. Go wild in the live chat, and of course, like and share and support this Ooredoo Maldives Championship. It's just so exciting. There's one more day left for this first group stage, and so your favorite teams, they have one more chance tomorrow to kind of get those points in the bag and try to get a spot on the finals. But for now, of course, these are your top players. And we can see there's a lot of eliminations, a huge lot of eliminations going in by Vaco from 2MS. So it's just crazy, Mike. It's just a crazy night.
Exactly. And I've been seeing him in the top players in every match, which is very, very deserved for him to be at the number one spot for the top players currently. To be followed, of course, by Savy from Fen Returns, and of course from Estalia right there, and to be followed as well from TTS Cloud, and ending that with Maitsui from LAC Esports, which very familiar names right here. And all of these players from these teams, it's just really a warning sign to the remaining teams that, hey, it's just gonna be us, and we're just gonna be we're gonna be moving to the finals. And yeah, I mean, that's all for it now. It ends with the match number 6 in the winner chicken dinner for the side of the Night Raiders. And if you do look at it as well, 2MS Esports and TTS Esports getting two chicken dinners in one day, that is crazy. And Fan returns also with that one winner chicken dinner. It's just gonna be exciting to see for tomorrow on how this will really conclude and how on which teams are gonna move to the finals. And yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. We're all looking forward to it at this point.
Yeah, I'm also looking forward to how this group stage will play off, and we'll see the final rankings tomorrow. But for tonight, match number 6, the last Miramar for today, that would conclude our stream. And so once again, this has been Ooredoo Nation's Maldives Championship Contender Series Season 4. We are in the first group stage. We are in day number 1. We just witnessed match number 6. Tomorrow we'll be having 6 more matches, the same 6 maps. And so, for those of you tuning in, thank you so much for your support, and we will see you all tomorrow. And just be here, guys. Just continue supporting your teams, supporting our donation, and so we'll be seeing you tomorrow. For now, it's good night. This has been Annie, and tonight with me with Mike. We'll be saying goodbye for now.